Hello.
Evening, folks.
How's it going?
And we got some new folks in.
First thing, yeah, I see people.
Yeah, people. So we want to welcome all the new folks. I'm Baron Engel, and this is Caredwin, and he's my co-host. We do this every other Saturday night.
Indeedy, indeedy. Yes, and I see some new folks here. Vilu Watsun. I am no doubt mangling that almost as bad as people mangle Caredwin. Welcome, welcome. Let's see, who else do we have here that's maybe new? We have, Renard Lou. Welcome.
Welcome back, actually.
Yeah, welcome back. You're right.
Their second time.
Indeed. All right, so we have a nice full evening for you. Got a couple of interesting things to show to you folks, but we'll get to that in a moment because the most, Sonny. The most important thing is brain lubricant.
Oh yeah, we need brain lubricant.
Baron needs brain lubricant for everything to flow
Correctly.
So therefore, we're going to be duplicating what we did last week because my tree in the backyard is still full of oranges and I got to get rid of them somehow.
Yes.
God, that thing it's just gone hyper this year.
But they're tasting good now. The ones we took home last week are very, very tasty.
Excellent. Yeah, I have an orange tree that there's more orange than green. It's something.
It's an overachiever. Hey,
so we're going to do another Tequila Sunrise. Tequila Sunrises are super, super simple. Tequila, grenadine, and orange juice, and not a whole lot else. So we got our ice. We have our silver tequila.
By the way, you're being complimented on your shirt.
Well, thank you. It's actually several shirts. Again, that's different from this one, which is different from that, which is different from there. Yeah, again, basically they make this one out of scraps, and you never know what you're going to get.
Oh, okay, they're return.
There we go. Oh, well, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. It's nice to have return customers.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so I got that. You may hold this for a moment.
I'd be glad to hold that for the bartender.
Yep, because we have to get the OJ.
Fresh squeezed.
Freshly squozed.
Was on a tree a couple hours ago.
All right, so about
there.
All the good stuff.
Yep.
And the most important thing of all.
No, generic. His sleeve actually is blue.
Yep. Every panel on it is a different color. These are the Uberist Maraschino Cherries. This is real Maraschino Cherries. There we go with the syrup. There we go.
And a little bit of grenadine.
And a little bit of grenadine.
Grenadine. It's a...
Actually, my grenadine's downstairs. I think Brian's down.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Okay, we'll give you just a touch of...
Simple syrup.
Touch of simple syrup.
Yes. His oranges are very good, but they are a bit tart this year.
Yep, there we go. And you need a suction device.
Yes, yeah, so I can stir.
There you go.
All righty.
And that is the good stuff then. So now,
chock block full of vitamin C. This is actually good for you.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. No, last year California had a very, very wet year. So this year the orange tree is going crazy and we're dry as a bone. Go figure.
Go figure.
California. You don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, drive 5 miles.
Yeah.
All righty. So for tonight, we're going to have some...
Machine gun cherries.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Nazumi.
There you go. Now, we're going to have some Patreon awards, etc. But what about what happened last week in two? We got to show that.
Let's show the art.
There we go. So I'm going to go right over here, and I'm going to click this thing right here, and it goes click like that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, yep. Things are happening in my Equestria dreamscape.
Explain yourself, young man.
Fortunately, he got on the train before that happened.
Yeah, yeah. They say that. Say that's certainly survival going there. Yeah. Now that is Stonemane, who in your dream arc has gotten to know Apple Bloom because he was essentially rescued from nightmares by her. And they've met face to face and they hit it off.
Yes, they did. And it was just one of these things where he was trying to think of, he had this beautiful script he was going to tell everybody, and tell Apple Bloom, I love you, blah, 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 you're special to me. And it went right out the window. He forgot all of it. So he just fell back on the, and he couldn't think of anything else to do. And he says, well, what did my dad used to do when we used to leave mom? Oh, without even thinking, he just kissed her.
Yeah, there you go. We're in San Jose, California.
Yep.
Yeah. Say, and the oranges, say here, are generally ready mid to late winter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got these guys, but we also had, could y'all help me?
Oh, this is before
Yeah.
the kiss and everything like that. When they went and had the Founders Fair at Ponyville, which celebrated the founding of Ponyville. And she'd gotten this really nice dress made by Rarity, but one of the things to make it all look right and keep her figure correct and everything was it included a corset. And Applejack had been a bit enthusiastic with the knot, and she couldn't get untied.
Could you help me untie that? Yes.
All
right. So let's say start climbing the temperature thing here. Starting from here, let's go.
There's one more Dreamscape one if you want to show that one.
What if?
That's the second from the bottom.
That one. Yep.
And of course,
Luna approves.
Yes. And Stone Man was stuck in the situation where Apple Bloom had fallen asleep,
bleeding up again her,
and he didn't think he could move. And
were you at Onizuka?
Yeah.
Blue Cube's been torn down.
Yeah, it's all gone now.
So it could have been NASA Ames right next door.
Yeah.
And then there was also the 338th, I think it is. It was
the Air National Guard Rescue,
like National Guard Armory or something like that. Yeah, 338th.
Yep. And he couldn't move because she was asleep. But he really didn't know what to do, and Luna just happened to show up because it was Luna's first chance to meet Stone Man face to face, and they had a long conversation. If you go to my DeviantArt page and you go to my gallery and you go to the MLP Dreamscape, you can get the whole story.
Yep, every one of Baron's Dreamscape drawings comes with a rather lengthy short story, so you get it. You get it both text and visual. All right, so let's see. How about we?
This is very good, by the way.
Well, thank you very much. So how about we go to sharing the stage?
And this is a Patreon reward for Cold Silver. And he wanted me to do a drawing of his character Silhouette dancing with Patina and Carousel at the Bucky Mare.
And we have Together.
And this is for Kibo, who's also in the chat in our Patreon reward. And this is two characters of his. And I've done the one bunny, Chandra, the one who's sitting up, several times.
Now let's see. We also have, yes. What's the name? Moondancer.
Moondancer.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names.
Yep. And
is it trying to solve the puzzle?
Yes, and I know a lot of people say, well, she was just a recoloring of Twilight. It was like a different main style for the episode, but I imagine that by now Twilight gets out a lot more. Has done some adventuring and everything, so she's probably kept a bit more of a toned figure. And Moondancer's probably getting to that age where
be active, or it starts to get a little thick.
Gravity.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Then we have, okay, what's going on here?
Oh.
Take a big slug of that, yeah.
Well, that is one of my characters from my Quest for Dreamscape. That is Marble Vein. And it is basically just kind of a pin-up piece of hers. But if you've been following me on Patreon, you guys have seen a whole bunch of stuff that folks on DeviantArt haven't. That's one of the advantages of being a patron. You get to see stuff 1 week in advance. And this is her basically...
Thanks, Larsus.
Yeah, great.
For those who don't know, Larsus is a professional live sound engineer. So when he says good sound, it's like, oh, excellent.
Excellent, yes.
Yeah, we have new microphones. So Movo LV6s. Not particularly expensive, but they are a step up from the LV4s.
Yes.
Pony Poemi. Oh, yeah. from those that brought you Excel Saga, yeah. All right. So we also have Miss Charlie. Y'all want to buy some Girl Scout or Pony Scout cookies? Philly Scout cookies.
Well, I mean, right now our local supermarket, they're out in front of the door.
In force.
And what's worse is they take Square now.
Yeah.
Your credit
Sorry,
card.
no cash. That's okay. We take plastic.
Yes. I'm doomed.
Yeah, you just give up and go for the Thin Mints.
Especially because they've got one little girl up there who's working the table at least once a week, and she, as a human version of Patina when she was maybe 10 years old, would be a perfect. She
has a future in sales.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. So getting into a theme you've had lately, which is the bunny suits.
And this is another Patreon request from someone who wanted me to do Sura. Wanted me to do Queen Chrysalis in a bunny suit. And of course, whenever I do a drawing, because I'm an illustrator, I always try to do a picture that has kind of a story. So when I was working on the sketch, I started spinning this story in my head, and I came up with this idea. Maybe one of the reasons why Angel is such a jerk.
He's a changeling.
A changeling, a stuck changeling. He can't change back into changeling form because he spent too much time in the rabbit.
Yeah, well, I guess you're going to be stuck as he'll be stuck as a bunny for the foreseeable future.
Which is a horrible fate.
Yeah, that's just a fate worse than death. Yeah, I gotta tell you, because he's going to get stuck. He's not going to be able to go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get cuddled and brushed and carried around and picked up and kept happy.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Fate worse than death.
So some more bunny suiting.
Yep. And this was one I had this image pop in my head of, I'm going to call her Tempest Shao because I'm saying Fizzle Pop Berry Twist over and over again ends up taking up more time on the stream.
Just call it Fizzy.
Or Fizzle Pop.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, this is like, do you have a problem? No.
And I can see him walking around with a tabard that says, X-Minion.
Yeah. That way everybody knows.
I turned over a new leaf.
So, and then we had one other thing, and you worked on this last stream. That is your, Baron's going to stream notification picture.
Yep.
New one every year.
That's right. That's going to be the thing. Every year is a new piece of artwork, so you guys don't get too bored looking at those things. And, I got a chance to color pencil live on the air for folks, and folks seem to enjoy that.
Laura says you're doomed.
Yes.
Yeah. He says, Blue Nose Reindeer is getting me back into furry things.
Oh, well.
It was a lot of fun last weekend.
Yeah. Oopsies.
Dear, my beautiful dear. Yeah. Only you understand me, dear. Sorry. Yep, this was inspired indeed by one of the two famous Norman Rockwell self-portraits. The other one, of course, was the one where he's leaning out and looking at a mirror and all that. But,
right. I thought this one would be easier to compose. I thought it left a little more of a question: what exactly is the expression on Skybrush's face? And the guy in October 1938, he was such a skinny-looking nerd dude. It was great.
Yep, indeedy.
All right.
So that's. Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm. All right, so there we go. 1, 2, 3, bang.
Boom.
The artifact. Behold,
the
artist.
I am the artist. Well, he's an artist too in his own way.
I'm a technician.
Yes.
I'm on the technology side of the force. I
Yes.
hit things with hammers. I just do so rhythmically.
Yes.
All right. So this week you're doing
Patreon rewards primarily,
and you're doing them for.
Well, I got several people I'm going to be doing for. I'm going to be starting out with doing one for McClaw.
There you are.
Yes.
Bright red, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, after McClaw,
mm-hmm.
who are you going to?
I got a person, they've decided that they want it to stay kind of secret on who they are.
A secret person?
Yeah, exactly.
Must be a good one.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be doing one for, I'm going to be starting one for Rebel Squirrel. I will not be able to finish Rebel's.
Rebel, I see you.
His piece in the entire hour segment, but I can get going at least. And then there's a possibility you, sir, have a piece that we're going to be doing as a Patreon reward. Yeah. And we might possibly do some thumbnail designs and things like that. Yeah, I'll draw your thumb. You can hold it out there and model it for me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's switch over to our
and
patented...
I'll switch glasses. Haha, you can't yell
there
at
you go.
me.
You always have permission to nag Baron if you see him drawing without his drawing glasses. His drawing glasses have the black frames. His street glasses have the lighter colored frames. So you get to mother hen him. Mm-hmm. We take care of our artists whether they want to or not.
No, that is, to my knowledge, that's not canon. I don't think they've actually...
we've never seen.
Yeah, there's been some speculation, but I haven't seen actually anything from Hasbro saying that is Fizzle Pop's cutie mark. But I had to put something on there, so that's what I did.
There you go. It's painted on.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to push this button right here. that
Push your
says,
button.
Draw a partner.
All right. We're gonna. Oh, and by the way, no spoilers on the new Equestria Girls.
Yes, say thank you and no.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, and so there's lots of folks who probably have not seen. Hey, Coral, I'm glad you could join us.
Yep. Yeah, Lars says it seems like everyone's running about 30 seconds or more of latency today. It's just.
And a couple weeks ago, we were only like 20 seconds. It was amazing, but not tonight.
It's terrible.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, Ari, you should wipe that off. I mean, it's no good for your monitor. I got a big P on me screen. Mr. Picasso, there's PP on your smoke.
Okay, and we are.
It stands for Pablo Picasso.
Okay.
All right, so we are getting started with, with Earl's latest Picarto thingamy.
Yes, we are.
What are we doing?
This is going to be very interesting. And I've gone back and forth with him, and he says, yeah, I understand there may be some stuff that's going to be a bit different on it. Do folks remember the cartoon and the comic called Bucky O'Hare?
Oh, I do.
Remember the character Jenny?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to be doing Jenny as a griffin. Now, this is going to require a fair bit of adapting the character because she looks very different. She's got all that hair, and of course, she's going to be a griffin, so she's going to have feathers. So we're going to do some kind of almost like cockatoo style. I think that's going to be about the best way of tackling it. Okay.
Let's see if I can resurrect this.
Okay. Alrighty.
What?
Okay.
Ah! We lost our focus.
You lost the focus.
We lost our focus.
Whoa, hey.
One moment here while I...
Stand by, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
There we go. Let's... there we go. So let's lock that autofocus. Autofocus was...
Helping?
Yeah. Yeah, I said there was a driver update this week, and, yeah, well...
Actually, I'm going to do this in landscape. What am I doing? I had right the first time.
Gotta trust yourself more often.
Yeah.
Some say he finds the vacuum and icy blackness of space to be comforting, and that his life is narrated by a combination of Peter Schilling and David Bowie. Oh, that's going to be a nice little copyright fight.
Yeah.
All we know is he's not the Stig because he's Baron Engel.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what lives in England and it's a 6'5" boob, Jeremy Clarkson. He's a boob. Yeah. See, more fan art for Bucky O'Hare than the show itself. Yeah, the show was very, very short-lived.
Yep.
So was the comic.
Yep.
All right. Been saving that one since the SpaceX launch. Yep, that was quite a thing. It's like fastest Tesla out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the other hand, when you're doing a Falcon, super heavy and Falcon Heavy, and you've only got a 3-ton payload, it's going to move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have made that go extra solar if he wanted to.
And we're gonna be doing this in kind of my dreamscape style Griffin. I'm just very quickly blocking it, and I'm putting the light and work in very lightly. So folks who are kind of new, this will all get darker. We're just trying to get things where all the joints are gonna go.
Yep. Rough it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, although we finally got the lighting right, so even the light stuff you're doing shows up really well.
Yeah, it is. Hey, cool. I can move just a little tiny bit up here, so it's a little bit more on camera.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah, we found the main issue with contrast was that the lighting setup we had was generating just enough of a hot spot to trigger the camera's auto white balance, which washed everything out. And it kept trying to override it with contrast and things like that, which made your hand look like it was like, medium rare meat.
Yes.
And wait a minute, if we do this and we diffuse it just a little bit and get just a little bit more warm light in.
And use some paper and duct tape.
Yep, paper and blue tape, yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, indeed. So, all right, see you shortly, Nazumi, we hope. Was that a peak with Edge and got much less latency? Yeah, they've been a lot of browsers lately have been mucking with their internal engines. Like Firefox recently went to their Quantum engine, which benefited some things and hurt others. So Google's been doing some tweaking with Chrome.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
done.
and of course, Microsoft is just Microsoft. So
Yeah, they did. Actually, no. I'm gonna move that wing out this way. I want to avoid. Well, is that gonna give me a tangent if I go that direction? Which tangent do I want? No, this tangent will be hidden because I'll be putting all those feathers in. So I like this tangent better.
yeah, there you go. So there.
Yeah. What I'm talking about when I'm referring to a tangent is the classic. You took a photograph of your family member, and then you look at the photo there, and you realize there's a telephone pole growing out of their head. And that's an object right here. But that's all going to get hidden by all of Jenny's feathers in this case. It'd be hair in the original series.
Strategic fluffs of feathers.
Exactly.
Wouldn't say no, Arsis. Wouldn't say no.
What's that?
Yeah. So you're saying is what we need to get you a BMD studio camera with some sort of a decent lens and an ATEM television studio. Yeah, we could use it. Although I'm sort of kicking around the idea about, okay, how would we take this to the next level? Aside from some really serious acoustic treatment, 4-inch rock wool panels and things like that.
Yeah.
That would be replacing. We're using all webcams, and those would get replaced with camcorders. Some people say use DSLRs.
Those would burn out.
Yeah. And you can take video with those, but only for about 10 minutes, then the CCDs overheat. Webcams are, camcorders are designed to run all the time, and their CCDs, the imaging chip that picks everything up. They're cooled. They can run at higher temperatures, without like generating lots of noise, that kind of thing.
Designed for the job.
Right. But the good ones with HDMI output, which is what we would need, because then you can then capture the HDMI output, run a few $100s a piece. Anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a piece, and that would be a significant investment. Yeah.
Just a bit more than we can swing at the moment.
Yep. If I had an extra $1,000 to spend on something like that, Lars says, frankly, I would put it towards finishing the implant on my front tooth.
Yeah.
No.
You need to still get that taken care of, don't you?
I do, but I need to find a dentist I trust, because I do not trust the people that they screwed up the. They screwed up on the first attempt.
Yeah.
Sure, Cato, go ahead. And I'm actually pretty happy with the microphones right now. The next step up would be to go to a nice Audio-Technica or Sennheiser body packs, but that's a tenfold increase in the cost of.
Also, too, wouldn't we have to swap battery packs during the course of an evening?
We'd have to find out. But again, that's what the brakes are for.
Yeah.
But again, that's I spent $60 each on these microphones, and those are $600 each.
Yeah.
So again, if I had that much money to put into that, I would put it into the video first, because I think the audio is okay now, and the video is the next thing I would want to kick up. But again, for what this is, we're doing okay.
Okay, now how to adapt this armor exactly?
Yep.
Okay, I think I have an idea here.
Yep.
I have stared at these photos today a little bit, going, how would I do this?
Yep. So yeah, Lars, just don't forget the interface box to get all that lovely video into the computer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never just getting new cameras. It's always part of a system, and if you change one part, how do you incorporate the other elements?
Yeah, so what's like going live? Oh, speaking of which, guess what we're going to be doing in 2 weeks?
Yes, folks. I thought we were going to be doing it in mid-March, but we're going to be doing it sooner. March 3rd, the next stream, Jaya King is going to be here playing around for blowtorches.
Yeah, indeed, setting Baron on fire. Many of you will remember Jaya. She's the artist who works with encaustics, which is essentially painting with melted wax, with pigments added. So it's basically blowtorch and flammable materials. And she is more energetic than Pinkie Pie. Oh yes, she is. But her show, she's a really, really good artist. Her art right now is sitting in the California State Capitol
Assembly Hall.
the Assembly Hall Rotunda. Yeah. So yeah, she's got a little prestige on her, but she don't care. And she's going to be with us 2 weeks from now. And
Yep. And Kostica is coming back.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, say 2 weeks from now, we're going to be downstairs, say in the man cave. Den.
And she's going to be able to say hello to your wall hanging again.
Yeah, oh yeah. I have one of those, alpaca or vicuña, I think it is, fleece, tapestry things, and she likes to rub herself against it. Oh, it is very nice.
It's like a performance art piece almost.
It's like a marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Should
we know what to get her for Christmas.
Should we tell her to get a room?
You
You do get a room.
Yeah, we'll just live stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Then we'll be able to generate the money real quick for that camera. Crayon woman.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You can tell her, so you can say that, not me.
Yeah.
I worked with her for 10 years. Trust me, I know what she's capable of doing.
Yeah. Orca, the whole car will not be destroyed by radiation, but all of the carbon fiber parts may.
Yeah.
It'll just leave the aluminum chassis and the battery pack and stuff like that, but all the body work could erode.
Yeah.
Again, it's carbon fiber, which is highly susceptible to ionizing radiation, and there's plenty of that outside of the Van Allen belts of Oith.
And besides that, even that in itself, if they ever find it someday, it could be very useful and very telling. Okay, yeah, we were right on this stuff.
Mr. McCullough says, Baron, are you making the front feet cat paws or bird talons?
I'm gonna make those talons. Why? Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is why when your patron stuff is up, and Baron does it live, you can give feedback and say, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, say the alpaca fur is it's very nice to touch. We like to touch. So, Mr. Peter Lorre. This would be a terrible thing to miss. Yes, it would. Everybody remember to suggest crayons to her, and it's like she might get one of those flamethrowers.
Yes, from Musk.
And all those things are really there's a type of torch called
shingle.
It's called a roofing torch.
Yeah.
And what it's actually used for is you get tar paper, which has tar on the underside and very, very tough material on top, and you
heat it.
You hit it with a very broad, sloppy flame. It melts, and then you just you put it down on the roof, and then as it cools, it seals. That's all it is that in a cheesy plastic rifle stock. It was a way that he raised some money for a project that he's doing.
Yes.
The Boring Company.
Yes.
Making tunneling equipment, so you can do hyperloop.
Yep. I still say he's trying to build some secret, like either superhero or crime lord base underground, and he's using the whole thing about the hyperloop as a front, and then he's going to have like Thunderbirds or Go, and he's going to be able to launch like rockets all over the world to send teams to rescue folks trapped on sinking cruise ships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then again, I have an imagination, so
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly be right.
Jaya with a military grade flamethrower. That would be performance art.
Yes. That would be Survival Research Laboratory.
Hello, Nizumi Googs. Yep.
Hello, Capricita.
Yeah. Hyperloop because he wants us to all go in circles. And an extra $1,000 to make it set up for turbos and rebuilding the exhaust. Yep. Yeah, to be honest, I expect the car to be recovered in the next 2 centuries. Yeah, it'll be like a museum piece. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
We may get a cislunar economy running within a century. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. The thing about that is that while there's tons and tons of interesting materials available on the moon and asteroids, etc., getting them down to the surface is interesting and potentially. And never mind dropping an asteroid onto a city. That just releases a whole bunch of heat and dust and stuff like that. I mean. All that heat of re-entry goes somewhere.
Or you just use the stuff that you're mining out there to help build the continuing infrastructure of a larger population base in space. That's the other possibility.
Yeah, so you just keep it where it is.
Yeah,
essentially.
And that solves the problem of payload didn't come down the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a payload and a warhead? intention.
Yeah. They say Elon Musk is the next fragrance by Calvin Klein. Yeah, so if you draw Elon Musk as a furry, he would be a skunk.
That or
Because he has his own skunk works.
this is true. Okay, yes, that is a convincing thing.
Take
for
that,
him.
Lockheed. Yeah. My skunk works are better.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The orbit goes to the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. So yeah, it is trans-Martian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently they got more oomph out of their burn than they were predicting.
Yep. Yeah. So. Yeah, say in real life, Tony Stark. Well, not really, since he's not really doing weapons type stuff, and he's not, et cetera. You know who thinks he's Tony Stark, or should be, is Oracle, Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison.
No, Larry Ellison is a supervillain, and here's why. Okay, he's worth about $20 billion, so he's a hyper billionaire, like a proper supervillain should be. He has a goatee, like a proper supervillain should.
Yeah, samurai swords. And
yeah, exactly. He dresses like a samurai, literally, because he's completely fascinated by Miyawara and Shogunate era stuff. Whenever he's home, and his house looks like a sort of a replica of the Edo Castle. So he dresses funny in his super outfit, and he owns a tropical island with a dormant volcano.
Yeah.
He is a supervillain.
He's got an airstrip and a port on it.
Yeah, and antagonizes world governments whenever he feels like it, particularly the Japanese government.
Yes.
So I mean, again, how is he not a supervillain? I mean, it's styling. He needs his own comic book.
And he appeared in the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
He was in one of the receptions when Tony's going to.
Yeah. Now you too can smell like innovation. Elon Musk. Yeah. Say must live, of course, but skunks. Skunks are kind of ditzy. Well, maybe a polecat. When polecat the pew. Yeah.
Hey, Rosemary takes exception to being called ditzy.
Yeah, well. But what about good old Beardy Branson over at Virgin? He's not even a Bond grade villain.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Nah, at the moment he's just somebody that sort of spiraled into his own navel, kind of like John McAfee. Now, you got to realize, I was the first ever tech support guy at McAfee Associates, his antivirus company, back when there was like 15, 20 employees. I knew John McAfee pretty well. And you know all those stories about him being crazy and stuff like that? They're true. Yeah. Very entertaining person to be around. It's just make sure that you had the phone number of a good bail bondsman about. Yeah. Now, when McAfee went public, they would say there was a world tour where they're promoting this, this stock. You should buy McAfee stock when it becomes available. Mr. Insurance Company, Mr. Fund Manager, and the Dog and Pony Show. Mm-hmm. And I was the roadie.
That's right.
Yeah, I traveled the world with John McAfee, and oh boy!
And he kept trying to keep him out of jail.
Well, actually, they say he had somebody else to do that.
Yeah, his proper handler?
He had a handler. It wasn't me. My job was to make sure that we were doing this, thing that nobody else had ever done before. It's called giving presentations from a laptop. And we're talking 1991 here. And when all the laptops had like these glowing orange, monitors, built into them and all that. It's like the plasma ones, and the battery life was like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, and there was no standardized projectors or anything like that. So I got to go ahead and I was the roadie. I set all these things up in advance. So they all went off, as far as John knows, without a hitch. So.
Right.
Yeah. Nozumi, that owns Lanai. Yeah, that's Larry Ellison, the CEO of Oracle, the database company. So let's see. Everyone on Forbes 500 is a supervillain. I want to be a supervillain. Let's see. Read.
Bettina wouldn't mind being on that list.
Yep. When you worked in the travel business, one of your customers was John McAfee. Did you, Skoshi, did you ever talk to Andrea Nation? She was John's personal assistant and the one that kept him out of trouble during the couple of years after I left McAfee Associates in 1992. But for a couple of years after that, that was when her main job was to keep John out of trouble.
Or post bail.
Yeah, pretty much. My goldfish just gave me 47.3 billion. What should you do with the money? Give me the 0.3 part so that you have a nice, round integer figure. This is me helping you.
And then you might want to talk to Patina. She's got some interesting investment strategies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you get any phone calls or emails from Vipra, ignore those.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that still staying in
Yeah.
camera? Yeah, that's in camera. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
Get the
I'm sure
money
people
in
can
camera.
see the art. I mean, that's what they're here
Yeah.
for. But I mean, they're listening to the yak, but what they're really here for is the artwork.
Yeah. Kaladin suggests get the money in pennies, then make a penny fortress.
That'd be one heck of a penny fortress.
Yeah, indeed.
I want to contact the U.S. Mint. I want you to make a run of pennies for me.
We're going to lock up the zinc market.
Yeah, there you go.
Drive up the price of zinc, and that's how you're going to make your billions.
Yep.
Hunt Brothers did it with silver. We'll do it with zinc. You have to be doing bad things to be a villain. No matter what you do, somebody's going to call you a villain. So just do what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Or as Winston Churchill once it was claimed to have, but probably didn't actually say it. So you have enemies. Good. That means that at one point, sometime in your life, you did something worth doing. Yeah, the name sounds familiar. I think she ordered the tickets for him and Judy. Oh, God, I remember Judy. Let me tell you a John McAfee story.
Oh, is this a case you guys can actually like swap tails? Oh, wow. Okay, go ahead.
John was a bit of a horn dog. I mean, he would flirt outrageously, with people, right in front of his wife, Judy, Judy McAfee. Well, one day, this is also the story, by the way, of how John McAfee is the richest person I've ever physically kicked in the ass. One day, I mean, I was, in addition to to being the first tech support guy, I was also the network admin, and I was under a table, and running Ethernet wires, my ass is sticking out into the hall. John walks by, sees a butt sticking out, just sort of goes, "Poof," just a little kick, like, hey, like, what are you gonna do? I'll get you for that. Later that day, he is in the he is out in the reception area, and we had at the time this is before Andrea, but it was we had a very, shall we say, decorative receptionist. And she was wearing the low-cut tank top and the whole bit, and John was leaning way over the desk, sort of looking down her cleavage, just going, "Oh my, you have a lovely keyboard." I mean, and Judy, his wife, was right there. He was just doing it to get her goat, to tease her. And I walk by, and there's John leaning way over the receptionist counter, his ass hanging out, and so I go, "Poof," leave a nice dusty footprint, right as a shoe print, right on his ass. And Judy's like, "You have my permission." And John's like, "Hey," I was like, "Yeah, payback's a bitch, isn't it?" So John is the richest person I've ever physically kicked in the ass. The richest person I've ever beaten at billiards is Jim Barksdale, founder of FedEx and Netscape and Silicon Graphics.
Yep.
But I didn't even know it was him at the time. Back when I was working at Netscape, we had a break room that had a billiards table, and I was taking a break and just knocking the balls around the table, and this guy in a suit comes in. It's like, want to do a game? I got about 15 minutes before I have to go catch a plane. Oh, sure. So we play. I win. And it's like, oh, by the way, I'm Lance, and he says, "Yeah, I'm Jim." It's like, Clark or Barksdale? It's Barksdale. It's like, good to meet you. Jim Clark was the other founder of Netscape and FedEx. Mm-hmm. So that's the only billionaire that I've ever beaten at billiards. There we go.
You still have an active Netscape email? Wow, Larsis.
Yeah, this was before Netscape was a cheesy off-brand ISP that AOL bought. We're talking 1994 here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back when we were inventing the modern web and internet.
Yes.
Yes, we did do that. No, Al Gore, you did not. We did. Yeah, and I made sure that it happened in German and in French and in Spanish and in Italian and in Japanese on Silicon Graphics equipment and HP UX and the weird ass NEC PC98. I was in the localization department.
I remember when you were working there.
Yeah.
Was that the where you were working at? The one time when you ended up with the extra, we went on the shopping excursion to Andronico's Food because you ended up with the extra $500 bonus.
That I think so. Yeah.
And that was the one. Let's sample all these cheeses we've always wanted to.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That would be right about the time.
Yeah. And that was the night of the chef stout test, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
When we
The
determined.
Chief Stout. Yeah.
Yeah, Chief Stout. When we just determined that you could not shine the mag light through it.
Yeah. Chief Stout is an Australian stout beer. And it is dense, and they use a lot of roasted barley in it. So I mean, it is as black as ink. And I said, oh, and this is back when everybody had those 350 watt halogen, torchieres style lights that could like set the building on fire.
You didn't need to run your heater in the winter; just turn on your lights.
Yeah, pretty much.
They use about as much power too.
Yeah, 350 watts, and all of it went into heat.
Yep.
And so I had a pint glass full of it, and I sort of held it over top to see if the light would go through it, and it wouldn't. 350 watt, halogen would not penetrate a pint glass full of beer. So I drank half, and then I added,
And so
it was like a harp beer. It was like a golden lager, and I held it up on top. I still couldn't see through it, so I drank half, and topped it off with the harp lager.
No, we're doing this for science. Understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So now
something reckless. It's science.
indeed, yeah. So again, now we were down to a quarter concentration. Still couldn't see through. By the time I could actually see a glimmer of light, it was cut 16-1, and I didn't need to drink anymore.
Nope.
I was there.
That was the night I slept on your couch
Yeah.
because I figured I could not drive back to Tours.
Yep.
That was back before Smudge had moved.
That's before you moved into the same apartment complex.
That's right.
Yeah.
Before we started living in sin.
Yeah. Actually, internet was so the first real internet. What we call the internet was the DARPANet, which was Defense Advanced Research Project Network, which was this part military, part school. Although, if you want to go back a little further, the first networking was the airline reservation system called Sabre that IBM came up with. But what we think about as the internet started off as the National Science Foundation Network. It was all schools, and it was made commercial by Telenet and I think MCI and a few others. And and what Netscape's role and all that was to give make this client for this brand new thing called the web, and make it so that ordinary human beings instead of researchers could use it. That was what we did. We turned it from a scientific curiosity into something that everybody could use. So we didn't really invent the internet, but or anything like that. But we made it so that everybody else, so that we democratized it in a very real way. And it's like that's not like an Al Gore claim, we just no, we actually did that.
Yeah,
So,
that was the work of many people.
yeah, many insane people. Does anybody here remember the blink tag? Yeah, bonus of 7% solution. No, but it's. Say, yeah, I get the reference. I get the reference. It's elementary, my dear Watson. Yeah. Now, does anybody here remember the blink tag? Where that was you could make text in a web page, just go blink, blink, blink.
Yes, and some people did some horrible things with it, actually.
Yep. Webster, much of it was ARPANET at the time, but that's when Telenet and MCI and others started building something up commercially, Netcom, a few others, and hooking it in. But I guess the blink tag, one of the most reviled things that ever came out of the World Wide Web.
One of marching ants borders.
Yes, and that was invented. The idea for it was invented in a bar called St. James Infirmary in Mountain View, California.
I remember that, St. James.
It was in an old Army Quonset hut that they had built up into a bar. It was one of those places where they had weird stuff hanging from the ceiling.
Weird stuff standing.
Yeah, exactly. They had a 30-foot high fiberglass statue of Wonder Woman. In the classic, feet well apart, hands on hips, pose, which meant that her ankles were about 6 feet apart. So they put a table there between Wonder Woman's legs. And if you look straight up, you could see a bumper sticker. It said St. James Infirmary that somebody had affixed to a certain location. It was at that table that Jamie Zawiski and Lou Montulli invented the idea of the blink tag, and Jamie implemented it a few days later and put it into the next release of Netscape, and has been apologizing ever since.
Yeah, I remember St. James Infirmary. It burned down, didn't it?
Yes, it did under very suspicious circumstances. It had multiple owners and they did not get along, so very suspicious circumstances. I think it's part of where the Google mega campus is now.
Yeah.
It's Google's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't miss HTML 3.1.
Also remember playing Doom multiplayer using serial cables between computers or BNC. Oh gods. Yeah, those were the days. Back when you had Ethernet thick and Ethernet thin, and these were big ropey, cable TV type,
Well, it's like SCSI cables.
Or SCSI cables with up to what was it, 320, I think it is, lines. 80 was common, but I think there was one that went up to 320 parallel.
And you could only
wires.
have cables that was like 30 feet long, and you had to have terminators at the very
They
end.
would echo,
The signal would run off and run away and hide.
Yep. Yep, I am part of it. I can give you a Doom story. Back when I was working at Borland, which is where I was working between McAfee and Netscape.
Up in Scotts Valley, right?
Yeah, Scotts Valley. And I was, again, working, I did a lot of localization testing at the time. And we had to make a decision the next morning on whether or not we would...
I remember zip disks.
Yep, indeed. Yeah, the 100 megabytes.
Yeah,
Huge.
woohoo!
Yeah. Parallel interface, though.
Hey, they were Baron SideQuest drives, which were only
Well,
25.
which would become unreadable if you looked at them funny.
Yes.
But we had to make a decision the next day. Were we going to be able to ship, the translations of localizations of Quattro Pro for Windows this quarter, or do we have to wait till next quarter? And well, we'll find out by testing, and that was my job. So I pulled an all-nighter, literally an all-nighter, and so the meeting is at like 9 in the morning, and it's like 7:30, and I'm so tired. And so I go down to the Borland cafeteria.
I remember the story.
Yep. And I say, what do you have that makes? Do you have anything that makes coffee look completely wimpy in comparison? I need to wake the hell up. And they pointed over this soda called Brainwash.
Brainwash was amazing stuff, folks, if you never tried it.
Yes, Brainwash was a soda that had tons of caffeine, jalapeno oil, ginseng, ginkgo biloba, and a lot of this herb called mahong, which is a Korean herb. Mahong is loaded with ephedra. It is no longer legal to be used in the United States.
It makes
but it wasn't then.
It makes Monster look pretty wimpy, actually.
No, ephedra will give you freaking heart attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Ephedra is related to ephedrine,
Yep.
And so I bought 4, and the guy looked at me funny and said, "Okay." And so I took them up to the cube, and my cubicle, slammed them down, and I apparently was scaring people. Because, yes, okay, we're gonna do this thing. Let's talk about, okay, here's the test results. And I remember, what I remember is the edges of the world getting pink, and the kind of an in my ears.
I remember,
and my nose and the tips of my ears tingling.
I remember when you came home from work.
Yes.
On that stuff. That was over at your place.
Yes.
It was like, Lance is in a different place today.
I was. I had taken as it turns out, without knowing it, a full candy raver dose of ephedra. Mm-hmm. And it's not my habit to do things like that. So, I didn't know what was going on. But, we had the meeting, and and we decided we're going to ship. It's like, well, of course, everybody's thinking, it's like, did you put white powder up your nose or something? And I'm like, no. When I point over at the bottles, I did that. And
That's bad.
And then somebody looked at all the ingredients, and one of them knew what mahong was, and said, I got a computer, an extra computer in my cubicle that has Doom on it. Why don't you go play that until you come down? I'm going to go play Doom. So right around 5 p.m., it's like, you let me know when you start to come down. I'm like, I don't feel so good. Okay, get in your car and drive now, because in about half an hour, you're going to be, you have about that long before you are completely unable.
Yeah.
And because I had a hell of a commute, and so I go up and over the hill and down into Cupertino.
And then
Hi, Baron.
And then thud.
Yeah, exactly. At the time, he and Smudge had moved into a apartment in the same complex, and they say they were over for dinner. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And again, that was face plant, and I don't think I woke up for like 16 hours.
Though that was kind of like watching Mr. Hyde kind of fade away, and Dr. Jekyll comes around. He's utterly exhausted. Just goes.
Copper. I don't recall. I don't recall that. This would be right around 1993, maybe 94.
Well, no, that was before Smudge was up here, because she came up in 97. But I remember that. But I remember being over, because it was like, this is a side of Lance I've not seen before. I don't know if it's a side I want to see again.
No, that was the I was channeling Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
In advance. If I vibrated any more, I would have gone into a different parallel dimension.
Phased out. Okay, we got about 4 more minutes, and we'll be done with this one.
Yeah. Star Control 2. Frungy, Sport of Kings. Yes, a special plate is hard. Yes, hiding behind it. Yeah. Yeah. By the way,
actually, Dave, we would have been living at the Highlander apartment if it was at the right time.
Over on Old San Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah, or off of I was off of
Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair Oaks.
Fair Oaks. Okay.
Yeah, that time period, because I moved in with Tor in 95, stayed with Tor until the July of 97, and then I moved in with Smudge into that apartment complex that you lived in.
Yep.
That was the period when we had all of us living there.
Yeah, Kalen, by the way, Star Control 2, the source code of that, God, was this Paul, God, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I'm going to say Paul Reiser, but I don't think that's right. The lead designer on Star Control 2 got back the rights to the source code, and he open sourced it. It's now called the Urquan Masters, and you can download it for free. And there was a band called the Precursors in Finland that did a whole new soundtrack, and they've added full voicing for all of the character interactions and all that. So
yeah, let's look up the weird funky graphics from the time period.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, look up the Urquan Masters. It's free. Go get it. Play it now. Well, maybe after this.
Yeah, after the stream.
Yeah. Yeah, the fan version of Urquan Masters. Yeah. That's the open source version, and it is the original 3DO source code. That from the 3DO port of it. And again, Paul Reiche, R-I-C-H-E, Reich. Paul Reich got the rights to it back.
Generic, no. Tor's not unless something happened very, 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 very recently. He is not. He's been having some medical problems, but he's not trapped in a hospital, to my knowledge.
Last I saw him, he was doing fine.
Yeah.
So he was on. So he rode his bike over here, and Dusty did some work on his bike.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was fixing up his
BMW, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the BMW. Yeah, fixing up the brake pedal, lever and shifting lever so that it fit him better. Because Tor's a tall guy; he's 6'7". So yeah, you have to customize the bike just a little bit to fit him. Yeah, and if you don't have Doom and Doom 2 and stuff like that, I think Doom is available freely. I think Doom 2 and later, everything except the brand new one are available on goodoldgames.com, GOG.com.
And yeah, we do need to make our usual sponsorship announcement.
We do, because it's just about the end of the hour there. So we will make the thank you, and then we will take our first break.
Yeah.
But the first thing we must do is go here, and we want to say thank you to University Art. University Art has been kind enough to sponsor Baron, keeping him supplied with art supplies, because that's what they do. University Art is a high-end art supplies and framing store with outlets in San Jose, Redwood City and Sacramento, California. Very talented sales staff who are not on commission. They're all artists, and they have no incentive to sell you the expensive things. They'll just sell you the right thing. So we want to thank them very much for, for sponsoring Baron, for occasionally loaning us people like Jaya, who will be here in 2 weeks. Jaya's another former University Art employee. And say hi to Mike and Jeff, because
If they're working.
Yeah, because they sometimes lurk. Hi. So thank you to you, and back to us. Click.
All
then
right.
Click.
Let me switch cameras here. It's 6:30.
Indeed. Yeah, you got a nice looking burb.
Yep. All those feathers and armor and everything like that, and got that within an hour.
Yeah.
Less than an hour, actually. So
Yep.
very, very good. All right.
Yeah. Let's say Tudrick is not one to stay down if he can avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a tough son about something.
According to Tebow, is on his way up to Seattle today. There, that answers that question.
Baron sponsors certain ships like Twilestia. That's the good ship. The good ship, is a Discord and Fluttershy.
That's right. And, last year, Celestia became Patina's favorite pony.
Because there's no wrong way.
Yes, remember Spike, this is Twilight's fantasy. There's no wrong way to fantasize. That right there sealed the deal.
Indeed.
Okay.
So, folks, we're going to take a break, 5 minutes. Yeah, we're going to make Baron stretch,
You should stretch.
go be biological, take care of biological needs, then go get yourself a fresh drink. And we're going to come back and you'll do another Patreon reward for...
This is one of the person who's, we're keeping it kind of on the quiet night.
Say for the mystery guest.
Yes.
Mystery. All righty, folks. Catch you.
In 5. See ya.
And Acheron does indeed call collect.
Is Luckin dead?
Say Lucky Neko is dead. Well, either way, he is welcome.
Yes.
He, she,
It.
She, yeah. All right, do we have anybody else here who is new? I'm going to go take a look at the list. Who here is new and has not been here before? Say hello, and we'll say hello right back at you, because we're kind of like that.
Yeah, Uncle Fungus, I don't know if you've been here before or not, but if it's your first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back.
All righty. Okay, so behold, corn, and welcome back.
Who are you saying about corn?
That's yeah. So anyway, this hour you're doing your your Patreon reward for the mystery Patreon.
Yes, and what we're going
Is it going to be good?
Excuse me.
Is it going to be hot?
Well, a lot of exercising might cause the character to be hot.
Okay, there we go.
Right. What we're going
Hello, Steel Prism's girlfriend. Hi.
Welcome.
Your boyfriend hangs out with weirdos.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
S'mores, you mean unicorn frappuccino?
pretty much. There's some more. Sounds like the name of a unicorn.
It does, actually.
Yeah, it's like somebody's somebody's melty OC.
Yeah.
All right. So,
What we're going to be doing? What we're going to be doing is a little bit of a crossover. We're going to be doing... How many folks out there play Overwatch? I don't. I'm going to state that for the record right now. I don't play Overwatch.
But I'm going to guess it has something to do with either Tracer or McCready. Or Mercy. But I'm going to say Tracer.
Bingo.
There you go.
Yep. So we're going to be doing... And at first, when the person recommended this character, this pony character, as Tracer, I thought, well, I don't think that's the person I usually think of. I usually think, Rainbow Dash. But then I remembered that Pinkie Pie was able to actually keep up and actually pass.
Philly second.
Yes, actually Philly second. So we're going to be doing Pinkie Pie as Tracer. That's going to be up on the bat. Anthro, too.
Yep. So it looks like between, at the end of this hour, I'm going to have to reload you on that, too.
Yeah.
I may have to go squeeze some more oranges.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. All right, so I'm going to push this button right here.
All right.
All right. So, I guess we can hear the Chinese New Year.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there's a, yeah.
If you hear the sounds of mayhem.
If it sounds like a war zone, it's the New Year.
Yes.
All right, so another old man story. How I owned Zone.com for a week. Set your Wayback Machine to about 1999, I think. I think it was 99 or probably about 99 or 2000.
You got on the right thing. And I'm changing my glasses.
There you go.
Ha ha. Nee.
And there was an online an MMO called Asheron's Call. Back at the time when there was basically Asheron's Call, Ultima Online, and EverQuest. You know, and of course, EverQuest was played by weenies. Ain't that right, Copper?
Yeah. Keep it clean, gentlemen. Keep it clean.
There you go. And it was put out by a company called Turbine, but it was published by Microsoft, and they hosted all the servers and stuff like that. So in order to play the game, you logged in with your Microsoft Zone account. Well, it was a little bit after midnight one day. I was like, I'm going to play a little Asheron's Call before I hit the sack. And, you know, it wouldn't log in, and I couldn't even get to the Zone website. I'm like, what the heck? And I started doing some checking. It's like I could not resolve Zone.com. You know, an X domain, non-existent domain. What the heck? And so I did a couple of real quick who is this and stuff like that, and found the domain registration had expired at midnight.
Oops.
And so I immediately got on the phone, called a company called Internic at the time.
Back when they actually had people on phones.
Yeah. And I said, I would like to register Zone.com, please. And the guy's like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, can I take your credit card number? And so we set that up and gave me a login, so I could say, okay, well, where does www.zone.com point to? Well, I still had all that information, cached on my computer. So I said, okay, well, here's the numeric, the IP address, the numeric address. So it's like, okay, so I set up the domain server to point it back where it belongs. And 5 minutes later, it's like, Zone.com, please log in, Oh, okay. Was able to play my game. Mm-hmm. So in the morning, I called up Microsoft and I said, yeah, I want to talk to who's in charge of their Zone, their DNS, domain registrations, because I own Zone.com and you don't. And they're like, no, we own it. No, you don't. Go do it. Go do a who is. Just a second. And so, I guess I ended up talking to some, manager or director or something like that, and I said, look, you guys let it expire. For want of $35, you let it expire. It's like, okay, what do you want to get it back? I said, all I want is my $35 and be able to play my damn game. You screwed up, but I'm not here to blackmail you or anything like that or be a cyber squatter. I just want to play my game. How do we arrange this? And so, okay, well, we'll take care of it. So a week later, the transfer paperwork was done, because back at the time you had to actually fax a photocopy of your driver's license and crap like that. And so it was back under Microsoft's control. I never did anything evil with it. All I did was just set up a domain name server record that pointed to where it needed to be. So they gave me my $35 back, and they gave me a year of Asheron's Call playtime for free. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Don't let your domains expire. My personal domain, which I've had since 1996, is registered through 2028. Yeah.
Don't let this happen to you, kids.
Nezumi is a lunatic. Praise the sun.
Yes.
Praise the sun, we give our thanks for the mark on Celestia's flanks.
That's right.
We turn to it without fail and examine it in detail.
All right, we'll see you later, Mahulu.
Sorry you're having problems.
Yeah. How do you pronounce your name anyway?
Yeah. Can you give us phonetic spelling before you leave?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
We have this feeling we're horribly slaughtering it.
Oh, I'm sure I am. Yeah. Now you want to play Dark Souls. So you're a masochist and into punishment. Yeah. Dark Souls is a hard game. Yeah, it'll kill you dead.
Well, with a name like that, duh.
Yeah. Now, let's see here. Praise the third-degree sunburn. Yeah, but what a way to get it.
Yeah. Besides that, you need that vitamin D, or else you get rickets.
Yep. Yeah, actually, say McClaw, I think they just tried really, really hard to, sort of sweep it under the rug. It's like, this never happened. This never happened. It's like, okay, we'll wait for the statute of limitations. Now, because that's a major screw up. I mean, if I wanted to be a bastard, I could have been a real bastard. Because I mean, zone is generic enough that they would not be able to assert trademark. So, but no. I just wanted to play my game.
Yeah.
Ashran's call. Yeah.
Back when it was a thing.
Oh, by the way, folks, in other news, speaking of games, Them's Fightin' Herds will be available to anyone who wants to. Go and buy it on February 22nd.
Yep.
So it's been the end of a of a 5-year-long road.
Yep.
Because the whole drama with whole pony fighting games and all that started back in 2013.
Yep.
And here we are 5 years later, and almost to the day, and it is ready, and you'll be able to get it, and you should.
And speaking also things of games, Robert has gotten his plane tickets to come out for BabsCon. And we were thinking maybe if you were be interested, because the weekend of BabsCon is usually the weekend we would be doing a stream of doing like a Wednesday night stream here for having Robert here. We can do it kind of a Roan-centric.
Yeah, I may look into what it would take to do a live stream. Over my phone.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
I will have to find out if that's even possible. If I get coverage, if the hotel has things. Oh, you must go through our Wi-Fi and it costs $1 billion.
Nope. Not gonna do it then.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
Robert's a pretty good game master.
Yes, Warhammers are overrated.
Warhammers are overpowered. They are not overrated. They are. Oh boy. Yeah, and the thing is, I wasn't throwing as many dice as I should have. I was throwing 15 dice. I should have thrown 17. 4 for my strength. 4 for my melee weapon skill. 6 for how many the dice you get for that's the weapon bonus itself for Warhammer. So that's 14. 1 more because I put a point of specialization in it, it's 15. And the 2 that I forgot to add was I had add Hammermaster as a feat or a perk. And
that's right.
That's 2 more dice. And I'd forgotten about that. So I should have been throwing 17 dice in a game that is calibrated for the player characters to be throwing 6 to 8. Yeah, so Warhammers are overpowered.
Of course, you got to get close up to someone to use it.
Yep. Yeah, and generic's right there. That's another important date, March 24th. Season premiere of My Little Pony Season 8.
Yeah.
So, woohoo. So, we're looking forward to that. I'll say, you spooked me there, Baron. I thought I heard the statement different. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. No, hotel Wi-Fi is identity theft waiting to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do everything through the VPN. Oh my God, yes. So I have a server that I run out, in Amazon.com. That if I really need privacy, it just acts as an SSH, relay, and everything is encrypted all the way up to Amazon, where it comes out of my server that nobody knows where it is and who I am. So.
I'm doing this part upside down. In case people are wondering why that turned upside down, occasionally it helps to turn the piece in orientation. You go, am I putting things in the right direction? Am I putting, digits in the right spot? And if you can't figure it out because it's confusing because it's at an odd angle, turn the piece upside down. No one's gonna mark you down style points or anything like that.
Well, sometimes that's the way your hand, your hand makes more accurate motions in one direction than another. Do it. Yeah, as a Warhammer is overrated. Now, this is Warhammers in Roan are extremely powerful weapons.
Loving this, Larsis. It's working out great.
Yeah. The flank is the area between the hip and the side of the rib cage. It's where the hands go when you're giving them a massage.
That's right.
Hanche Blanc. Yeah. White flanks.
That'd be Bettina.
Yeah. That's the tickle, tickle, tickle spot. One of many. Collect them all.
Yep. And a little bit further back, if you squeeze in at the right conditions, it makes a old-fashioned cash register ka-ching sound in My Quest for Dreamscape.
Yep.
Which is fun for the whole family.
Yep. Was that the game at BabsCon last year? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the. I was in the demonstration game.
Yeah.
So was Baron.
Steel
So was Cat's Paw.
And Steel Prism. Steel Prism was in the game.
You were. That's right.
Yeah, Steel Prism was there.
Yeah.
And this year I'll be doing the same thing. Basically sitting around, and anyone who shows up for the game, I will be doing little bust sketches of the characters playing that night. Because I found people seem to like that. It gave them a real sense of having participated in something that evening. And then after the con, I'll email printable files to them so they can print out if they want to and put in their character sheets. So if they want to keep playing Roan,
yep,
they've already got character art.
Steel Prism. Were you the guy that was the soldier that ended up coming along with us?
Yes, one of all the scars.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Cat's Paw played Ron Shield. Yeah, the world's kind of, sort of prissiest. Yeah, and that's the only word for it. Detective. Yeah. And I played Garrett. His real name is Garnet, but we just call him Garrett. Yeah, that was the former criminal and
bar owner,
fence and smuggler who had gone mostly legit. But still kept around his Warhammer for bonking people over the head if they tried to disrupt his neighborhood, because he ran a clean area. So yeah, that was Garat. Yep. Hanche Blanche. It is French. I'm terrible.
It was a hippocide. That's right.
Yeah. Who is the Aponis? The Aponis is Pinkie Pie, who is being cosplay as Tracer from the game Overwatch.
That's right.
That is the Aponis.
I mean, because we did do that one request, which was Nurse Redheart as Mercy. So one thing I'll give the game Overwatch credit, they've got some excellent character design.
Generic. Actually, if you the way the rules work, at least in Battlefleet Gothic, is orcs being collectively a psionic, mildly psionic race. But they don't really realize that. But their beliefs tend to become true. If they believe that a ship made out of plywood is airtight, it is. And if they believe that painting it red makes it go faster, it does. So it's not that a non-red ship costs less, it's that a red ship costs more. I think it was 5 points more to buy a red ship, and it moved 5 centimeters farther on the battle mat. Something like that. Never had an orc fleet. I was all about classic. I had several fleets, but the one that I played was Chaos. Good old-fashioned Chaos. Kill frenzy, kill frenzy, kill frenzy, kill frenzy. That was the thing about Chaos is in Warhammer 40K, a few thousand years before, they had the Imperium had different style ships, and a whole bunch of them were lost in deep space, where they came under the force. They became corrupted by Chaos. Warhammer 40K is half science fiction, half fantasy, and then they came out serving the god Khorne, Khorne, and Kill Frenzy was one of the renamed ships, and it was one of the most famous ships. And again, it's all Lovecraft grade.
You and Colonel Yeo can talk, because he loves Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
Hippocide. They kill the horse.
Let's see. Yeah, that's orcs. The ultimate ricer, orcs. Yeah. Again, it's like having 3 layers of spoilers on the back of your Mitsubishi Evo. Makes it go faster. It's like, no, actually it slows it down because it adds drag. But that's not its real purpose. It's mating plumage.
Yep. Kind of like fins on a Cadillac.
fins on a Cadillac or feathers on a peacock. You know, and I'm not saying that disparagingly because back when I was of that age, I did the same thing myself.
Bingo.
You know, not with spoilers, but with, you know, shackles and carburetors and, you know, upgraded suspensions and stuff like
Oh,
that.
but Patino's kind of disappointed. Right? You said shackles, and you were talking about something else. Okay.
Well, further research may be indicated. Generic? I don't know. Basically, if somebody splatooned the Orcs red ships into green or something like that, would they lose the ability to go faster?
Ooh, that'd be kind of an interesting thing if you
A
paintball.
Splatoon crossover with Warhammer 40K. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Make the game.
Yeah, basically, if you run by, you paintball their ships, you know, plaid, and they suddenly come to a screeching halt.
Yeah. Now, Larsus Goldfish says that it accidentally replaced Kerr's bottle of rum with a McLaren 720S. I worked briefly, very briefly, for a company whose CTO drove a McLaren 650S. This, not coincidentally, is the company that is being audited where they're saying, where's our $11 million, Tommy? Yeah, that was a company that its name say is still out there, and I think HP bought the remnants, but there are investigations going on. Where's the 11 million, Tommy?
Yeah, and because they're kind of people you just can't blow off on answers.
No, KPMG, you know, one of the biggest accountancy firms in the world,
Yeah.
invested in them, and Tommy thought that, you know, apparently that he could pull accountancy tricks and nobody would notice. They did.
They did. Ouchies.
Yeah, my little 4-liter V6 might be nice, but it'll burn the tires. If you're talking about the one in the Toyota Supra, go get yourself the biggest damn turbo you can, run it up to 25, 30 pounds of boost, run
Because
it
the bottom end will take it.
you know, run 130 octane racing fuel, and we'll see you north of 1,000 horsepower.
But those engines are the bottom ends are so overbuilt on those things. It's amazing.
Yep. So let's see. Do we have anybody else here? I'm gonna make another quick check to see if there's somebody who is new.
There we go.
We have, let's see, Amora Bunny. Have you been here before? If
Amora Bunny?
Amora Bunny.
Oh, hey, I think I know who that is.
Hello, Amora.
Hi.
Well, if this is your first time here, welcome. If not, then welcome back.
That's one of my clients.
Yeah, you know. Hey, but better yet.
I think that's one of my clients. I got a piece I'm going to be starting on for them in the next probably month. I got a couple of things that get knocked out the door. I've got a piece I'm working on at the moment, folks. I'm not putting anything up about it because I haven't gotten the green light from the client to show anything public. But I think when it comes out, people are going to like it quite a bit.
Yep.
And it's artwork being done for a good cause, too.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah. So, sorry. Car used to go to 130, but he lost top gear. Well, where on the road are you going to go 130 except like straight to Texas anyways? How quickly you get there. Yeah. Now, someday I still might throw a supercharger on the Mustang, but
Hey, Hal.
it's pretty damn nice the way it is. So, you know,
Do I really need to?
yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, it would be nice to have 670 horsepower as opposed to 420.
Oh, darn.
It would be nice. It still gets the hell out of its own way. You know?
Yeah.
And saying frankly, what I could say if I really, really wanted to do something like that, you know, the thing to do would be to get one of the 2018 Mustangs with a 10-speed automatic, you know, computer controlled. We have 460 horsepower instead of 420.
Yeah.
Those things are doing 0 to 60s of 3.9 and sub 12 quarters. Just 100% complete stock. You know, don't even replace the tires or anything like that. You just go out and...
And 30 years ago, you would have been taking good top class in several NHR categories with that.
NHRA, yeah.
Yep. 10-speed automatic, really? Wow. A gear for everything.
Nazumi, if I did it, say I would probably go with the Ford Racing Stage 2, which is, I believe it's an Eaton style. But
Comes with its own warranty too, if I remember.
yeah, well, yeah, it's the factory part that they install on the Shelby Viper. which means that my 100,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty will still be applicable.
Yes.
Now, with Roush, if you get a Roush supercharger, it comes with its own warranty where if there's an engine failure that is determined to be caused by the supercharger, they will pay up to $11,000 in repairs, which coincidentally is about what a crate motor costs. But now, the Ford Racing is just fine. And also, the other thing about Ford Racing Stage 2 is it has California Air Resources Board certification. So it's emissions legal.
Yep.
Just bolt it in. You know, about $10,000 exercise, and I don't have $10,000 for that kind of exercise.
So for that money, you should get your tooth fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm being all practical here.
Yeah, exactly.
You, sir, need to get your tooth fixed.
Yeah, I was saying, frankly, there's other things I would do with the money besides that too, like kitchen.
Yeah.
That kitchen's kind of sad.
New oven. I think Brian would like that.
Yeah.
You'd like that.
Well, I'd like that kitchen's the kitchen
That's
the
Brady
the
Bunch.
cabinetry is the one that it was built in.
It's
when
Brady
it was
Bunch
new.
kitchen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's Marigold.
Yes.
I have Marigold appliances that
You
were
mean
made
it's
in
not hard-
1974.
It's not Harvest Gold. It's Marigold.
It's Marigold.
Oh, well, that's different. That was upscale.
Take a 24-cylinder submarine diesel, put it on a flatbed, and put a chair on top of it. Back when I was living in Stockton, I lived in Stockton. I slept in Lodi. Back in the early '80s, there was a guy running around that had like a Ford Ranger with a 454 V8 in the bed, feeding the rear wheels.
Well, that must have gotten exciting when he stepped on the gas.
Yeah, it was mostly an exercise in sound and thunder rather than speed because there was just no way you could put all that power to the road.
Nope.
But it was more of a show off thing, like those giant boonie bouncers. There's I think it's about a 72, 73 Camaro that I drive by on my commute home that's parked in the street that has the big old the giant monster truck type tires.
Box, bubble and box, they call it.
Yep, yeah, really, really big ones there, and it's perched way up high on top. It's about 4-foot diameter tires.
It's
just parked in the street.
And center of gravity's probably all over the place.
Yeah, I just drive by it every day. One of these days, I'll take a picture.
Because.
Good night today, goat.
Glad you could join us.
You care and bear my Goldfish's black Visa card for about 72 hours and see what they do with it. Well, the answer will be post bail. Yeah.
Celadon appliances. Ooh. I even know what color that is.
Howdy, Marshall.
Hello.
Oh, something else at some point I would like to show off is something that Dusty did.
Yes.
Dusty Cat is currently in New Zealand, tooling around on a rental motorcycle and having a
Hunting down hobbits.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, he's in southern New Zealand, not northern.
Yeah, South Island, yeah.
Yeah.
And but he did something for for the BabsCon charity auction. Let me grab it over here.
Bring it over. Show it to folks.
Yep. Briefly switch over to the main camera. We'll get back to Baron in just a momentito as soon as I untangle this cord because it is nicely tangled up.
Because that's what cords do.
Yeah, they do. They are. There is a rule. Okay, there. And there. Okay, haha, I am mightier than the cord. The lance is mightier than the cord. Okay.
You sure about that?
Not quite. There we go. Haha. I win. All right, so over here, I go over here. I'm going to push this button right here. Dusty Cat made this.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This basically started life as an incredibly beat up Fender Stratocaster.
Squire.
Squire, yeah. He reshaped the body, completely. Did all the refinishing. Reshaped the headstock. Did all the paint work. Upgraded all of the pickups and electronics. Refinished everything. Did some really nice things on the fretboard. This is, I think it's supposed to be Rainbow Dash's guitar
From Rainbow Rocks.
From Rainbow Rocks. And yeah, let me see.
I believe you are correct. I think he did put a Jackson
Neck on it.
neck on it.
It may be.
He may have.
I don't know if he did that or if he just reshaped the head.
He might have done that too. He did a lot of working.
Yeah, but let's see if this comes through. Let me know if this is either too quiet or too loud.
Yeah, especially Larsis, we'd love to hear your feedback on this.
No, we don't want any feedback.
Yeah, this is true.
That's bad in the sound roll.
Input.
There
Commentary.
you go.
I'm getting SM57 on that amp.
I got a 58, but right now what's on it is an Audix OM3. Let's see. You are so right, Generic. Sounds good even with Caradon playing it.
Whoa, ooh.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. I could be playing
Trust
it.
me. Yeah. More pentatonics without peak. Yeah. So that was on. Say that was on the humbuckers here. But if you really want to, I don't know what type of pickup he has on on the neck position here, but. Really sweet.
And this is going to be in the BabsCon charity auction.
Indeed.
And I'm going to have a piece of work. Some of you may have remembered last year when I did the Lyra playing the lyre underneath the tree, the color pencil piece I did live here on the air as a speed piece. That is going to be in that auction as well, along with some other stuff from some other really great folks. The BabsCon charity auction is going to have some really sweet stuff this year.
Blue free bird.
No stairway.
Nature trail to hell in 3D. Oh, if I could play Comfortably Numb. For my money, that is, say the Comfortably Numb outro, you know, is the finest piece of guitar work of any style, any artist, any era, anywhere. It is #1 in human experience, in my opinion, which is not humble.
I heard him play that live in Oakland.
Yeah.
And whoever was doing the sound work for that tour knew their stuff, because when they got to Wish You Were Here and there's that beautiful guitar at the beginning, little guitar riff, it sounded, and I talked to other people who were there at the concert, and everyone said it sounded like right next to you was sitting there playing the guitar. It's like, whoa.
Don't you need a keyboard and synthesizer to play a song? Well, I got one of those. Yep. Dusty is watching. Yeah. Yeah. Now, Dusty is in New Zealand, so if he's watching, he's doing it from out around the world
Yes.
in 80 tickets. Hey, Dear Whites, are you new? If so,
Well, yeah.
I say welcome to you. If not, I say welcome back.
Dear White.
Dear Whites.
Okay, so didn't
Dear
see
Whites.
Didn't see him in the chat. I was,
Right there.
Oh.
The most teal person here.
Ah, the most teal person around.
The most teal person. And Ubio. Hello, Ubio. And Wyvern, or Wyvern, yeah. Are you new? I think I've seen you before, but again, either way, welcome. Welcome back. I'm going to put this back here so we can see what Baron's doing so you don't have to put up with this. From KTEL Records.
Yeah.
I need a guitar with a wider neck. Your fingers are too fat with the current one. Yeah. Acoustic guitars tend to have, they tend to be a little bit wider. You also probably will want to take a look at some of the Ibanez Artcore series. I have the same sort of thing. I have, big fat fingers. But the other thing is that as you develop calluses on your fingertips, they will mash less. The other thing is that if it's still too damn big, pick up bass.
There you go.
Yeah. Pick up the bass.
It's from KTEL Records.
Pay out your funds, kill the wabbit. Kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit. Ho 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 ho. Almighty warrior of great fighting stock, may I inquire to ask, what's up, Doc? Bzz, bzz. And the phone says, we are watching you. Ah, yes.
Dusty?
Dusty says, we are watching you.
Very good. Hope we gave a good plug for your guitar.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. I won't do that anymore.
You're going to probably pull something if you do.
I'll hurt myself. I hurt myself. It's not easy being green.
Yes. Smog! Yes, you can tell that was made in Los Angeles.
Oh, Brunhilde, you're so lovely. Yes, I know it. I can't help it. Oh, Brunhilde, be my love. Look for the limo with a mask as usual. Yeah. Egad, my
ears.
Mine ears. Yeah, kill the. See, that's what a lot of bronies would be chanting about a certain Lapine residing at Fluttershy's abode. Let's just say that Angel fits into a kicking T for a reason. He bitch slapped Fluttershy.
Yep.
There is no forgiveness.
I just thought it was amusing how many people liked my just quick thrown together idea of Angel being actually a sleeper changeling.
Yeah, there you go.
It explains so much about his personality or lack of.
It does. See you later, Steel Prism.
Glad you could join us. Hope your girlfriend liked it.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny there were so many good musical Bugs Bunny cartoons. Rabbit of Seville, What's Opera Doc, both of which won the Oscar.
Animated short, if I remember correctly.
Best animated short, Now I'm imagining Minerva Mink dressed as Brunhilde from the Bugs Bunny cartoon.
It'd look more interesting.
Minerva, be my turtle dove. You're the one I'm dreaming of. That was Wilfred T. Wolfe.
Yep.
He was a wolf wearer. When the full moon came out, he turned hunky. What does Dusty say? We are watching you. Please go ahead. Yeah.
We have.
I love this picture so much. Pinkie Tracer is awesome, says Pinkie Irrational Pie. Yeah.
That actually coming up pretty good. I was like, okay. Went back and forth with the person. Okay, how did we want to do certain things? Did we want to do this? We want to do that? And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
How much time do I have? I got about 15. No, I'm further ahead than I thought. I got 15 minutes to work with. Yay!
Yeah, it is my weapon, Kato. It is my weapon. I deploy it only for fun. Now, God, what was the name? There was another Bugs Bunny cartoon where he ended up basically going to war with this opera singer that did not like Bugs Bunny's banjo playing.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, where Chuck Jones was credited as Giovanni Jones. Of course, you realize this means war. You know, he's Leopold, 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 Leopold.
Leopold. Oh, oh, oh.
So what girl would she be with and what pony would that be? Well, that's the thing is that, you know, according to Blizzard, it is official. Tracer likes girls. It is. That doesn't have anything to do with the game, but they say, here's part of the character's backstory. And it's like, yeah, yep. So deal with it. Deal with it. Oh, black. Yeah. Oh no, that was the Alibaba one, Jarrell. You know, would you like the blackberries pie? We'll have some. No, that was when Bugs Bunny ended up going to war with a stage magician. Yep, destroyed the Hollywood. So, what's your favorite single Looney Tunes episode? Tiny Toons, Animaniacs. Well, think about Animaniacs. It's a compilation. And some of the stuff in Franco is pretty damn weak. Stuff like Katie Kaboom, Chicken Boo, just reeked of executive interference.
I like Tiny Toons. Once again, Tiny Toons really depend on who they have for the writer.
Yeah. Anytime there was one of Wacko's songs, top drawer, amazing stuff.
Any Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, yeah, actually, Pinky and the Brain got its own series, and there were 65 Animaniacs made. There were over 100 Pinky and the Brain standalones made. But yeah, Pinky and the Brain is fantastic. You know, I think so, right? But yeah, it's again any of Wacko's songs. Wacko sings the Capitol, stuff like that. Tiny Toon Adventures. I like the summer special. What I do with my summer. Whack World Band, Happy World Land.
And I will say this: it was Tiny Toons, was where originally the whole thing when I started having the dreams of Rosemary came from. Was Tiny Toons.
Yep. So Tiny Toons, Looney Tunes. I gotta go with Rabbit of Seville. That's my number one. That's the Barbara of Seville. More. Hey you, let me chop your mop. Let me shave it off. Let me crop your top. Daintily, daintily. Hey you. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, long-haired hair was the Bugs Bunny versus the opera singer one. Yeah, that was a good one. And Luis Leopold was Leopold Stokowski, very famous conductor. He did, among other things, very movie soundtrack. He did Fantasia. I am here to torment you. Now, let's see. Let's see. I thought that she was inspired by a pet skunk that a friend had for her.
Well, she was. That's where the name came from. But when I first had the first dreams with her, it was kind of like a version of the Tiny Toon universe. And we were all basically just fresh out of college, starting our careers and everything, and we were living in a boarding house together. But it was, for the first couple of dreams, it very much was obviously my subconscious was thinking about Tiny Toons, and then it kind of just took off in its own direction.
Yeah.
And it got a lot less slapstick and just more slice of life-ish.
Yeah. Let's see.
But I did have a painting instructor who had 2 pet skunks. One, which she'd had the glands removed, and that was Rosemary. And one she got too late, and they couldn't do the operation or remove the glands, and that was Phosgene. And I learned an awful lot about skunks taking paint classes from her.
Oh, that was a visual we didn't need.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so we are gremlins from the Kremlin. That was one of the wartime ones.
Yep.
Which, by the way, some of those are public domain now.
because those were done for the U.S. government.
Looney Tunes, very possible. Bugs took Nimrod from being a great warrior. You know, there was actually, I think, a British plane named the Nimrod, to being fully pushing. What a Nimrod! Yeah.
Well, they named the plane that after that was.
Yeah.
In fact, they still fly Nimrods, I believe.
A Kremlin from the Kremlin. Yeah.
Their anti-submarine
Yep.
jet is
Yep.
called Nimrod.
Yeah, that was wasn't that the predecessor to? Ah, jeez. Wasn't that an Avro?
No, that was the Shackleton.
Shackleton.
The
okay.
Shackleton, whose predecessor was the Lancaster, or the Lincoln Bomber, actually, which was the
Yeah.
successor to the Lancaster, and they kept those things in service until the early 90s, and they had still some of the same radar they'd had in the early 50s, late 40s.
All right. But you know what I'm going to do now?
What are you gonna do now?
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to say thank you to somebody because I got to make sure I get this one in.
Yeah, that's right.
'Cause guess what, folks? It's that
pencil
time.
line.
It is time to say,
We have a sponsor. The sponsor is University Art.
and I will not sing that because we want them to stay our sponsor.
That's right.
Thank
And we
you.
want people to keep watching the stream too.
Yeah, that does help. Now, University Art is a high-end art supply and framing shop with outlets in San Jose, Redwood City, and Sacramento, California. They have some of the best art supplies in the world available, sold by some of the best art supply store staff in the world, because all of them are artists. None of them are on commission. They will sell you what you need, not what the most expensive thing is. It's fantastic. We love it. You know, museum quality framing. Your art will look great 100 years from now, even though you might not. You know, and again, they have all the workshops, they have all the demonstrations, they have all of the craft fairs, all of the good stuff that makes it more than an art store. It is also a community. They occasionally lend us some of their employees to show up on the show, like Jaya King, who does encaustics, which is essentially hot wax pigments, blowtorches, etc. And you get to see her 2 weeks from now because she's going to be on the show.
Yeah.
You got to be here, and she is more energetic than the Pinkie Pie that is being drawn right now. So you got to show that. So again, we also borrowed from at one point Jeff Braunschreiber, who is an expert on Egyptian tomb painting, even though he says he isn't. And he did a drawing of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, featuring Anubis, in proper style with proper with a proper parchment made from reeds and rushes, all the proper materials, just the way they used to do it back then. It was very interesting, very entertaining.
We may have him back on this year,
right,
on the stream.
And he sometimes lurks and watches. So hi, Jeff, and hi, Mike. So thank you very much to University Art for sponsoring Baron, keeping him supplied in art supplies, and putting up with him for 20 years, because that is truly an exercise in patience.
Well, you be saying fire to anything, only the imagination, we hope. Yes. Well, we have a fire extinguisher handy.
Yeah. What a maroon. What an income. Boop. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. University Arts, because fighting a fall guy is an art. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, yeah. That's the thing about chewing on reeds in case of bamboo skewers and applying inks. Yeah. Well, again, that was how they did it, and they did it by torchlight. We didn't go that far, but
we
again,
want you to be able to see the stream.
Right, but again, again, he used the proper pigments, etc. It was on parchment that was made in the traditional way,
And in some cases, they didn't even use torches. They used polished bronze surfaces and reflected light down into the tombs to avoid getting soot on the walls.
Yep, exactly. Just a very careful set of mirrors. Oh, geez, what was his name?
Kind of like the scene out of The Fifth Element. Light.
Exactly. Yeah, there's an artist, Cerberus, I think, did some really good animations. He does music videos with the raccoons and stuff like that. But he did one of it was like a 7-minute cartoon. It was done in Flash, really well done. I would stack it up against anything of say an honest tomb worker, tomb building worker, defending against a thief. There's like these kobold-like guys, and God, what an amazing piece of animation that was. I'm gonna have to dig that up for you guys. Catan, yes, that's the one, Copper. Copper, could you dig up a link to that, maybe on YouTube or something like that, and share that with people? Something for you guys to watch during the break, because it is top drawer. It is, it's as good as it gets.
Or after the stream.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Copper.
Thank you.
Adam Savage. I'm missing an eyebrow. No, you're missing an eye. It's different.
Failure is always an option.
Yep. He's light. Catan. K-A-T-A. That was the name of the animation. That was because that was the character's name.
Number 35. You've been back.
Hey, I think we've seen before.
Yes, number 35 has been here before.
Either welcome or welcome back. Either way works.
Yes.
Glad to see you. Let's see. Do we have anybody else to say hi at? I'm going down the list, and I see people down the list, but I'm mostly seeing people. Durfee Noob, have we seen you before? If so, welcome back. But if not, welcome and welcome. Thank you very much, Copper. You guys need to watch that. It's about 5-6 minutes long. Watch that during the break, because it's really good.
It's better than commercials.
Yep. Mr. Irrelevant, are you new here? I think you've been here before, but if not, you're relevant here.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome. Let's see, who else we got here? Just going down my list. Okay, and everybody else is our family.
Yeah, it's our family.
Yep. Hello.
Well, it is part
How
of the whole thing we do here is we want to promote a community.
Yep.
Folks may be coming here to watch the art, but there's folks that have actually kind of formed friendships from tuning in every 2 weeks.
Yep. Yep. Come for the art, stay for the people.
Yep.
Yeah, Nasal. Hello. How are you? My name is Arnold Horseshack. Anybody gets that one is old.
Oh, welcome back, Carter. I'm old.
What?
Ooh.
Where? Why?
Oh, you made it. Your famous tuna casserole.
Barbarino.
Yes. Back when John Travolta was just getting started.
What is. What was. What will be. What was will be, but was again. Yes. Hello, Halloween Foxy. Hello. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is that Baron does both furry and MLP and other work in a style that is completely unique. So yeah, it's not show accurate. It's just awesome.
It's what I do.
Yeah.
And is this your first time here? Welcome. If you come back, welcome back.
Indeedy.
And we're coming up on 7:30 here, but let me see if I get at least Pinkie's Main kind of blocked in before we.
Indeed. Yeah. We're actually we're about to take for folks here who are new. We take a 5-minute break every hour on the half hour. So at the 30s, get a chance to be biological, refill your drinks, get rid of your old ones. Do like artists should do and stretch. Right. Otherwise, we nag Baron a whole lot.
Yeah. Just so folks that may be new, don't know the story. Back about 20 years ago. I used to pull 12+ hours at the drawing table, and I wouldn't get up. And one day, a combination of that and older injuries I had acquired over the years, and my back went south on me, and I was out of commission for about 3.5 months. I had to see a chiropractor twice a day for a while till they could finally get my vertebrae back in line. And no matter what they were able to do, they told me, you'll never be back to where you were before.
Yep.
So the important thing is not to get there in the first place.
Stop sinking, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, say if you're in a hole, step 1, stop digging.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shana, shana, na, na, shana, na, 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 yo, ho.
Yeah. That was, so of course, everybody's favorite was
Bowser the bass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Barney Miller, say Hal Linden, Ron Glass, Abe Vigoda.
One-room set, usually.
Yep, that's all they needed.
Yeah.
Good storytelling. Well, there was that and Barney Miller's Office.
Yep. And it was like Cheers. Cheers generally only had that, and Sam's Office was the only usual regular set you saw.
That's all you needed, yeah. And that shows a show with good writers, because if they can make stories interesting again and again and again with one set, you know that it's all about the characters, it's all about the writers. You got good writers at that point. You got good actors. And they just carry it. Mm-hmm. Yep. So let's see what we got here. Welcome back to that same old place that you laugh about. Yeah, we tease them a lot because we got them on the spot. Welcome back.
Flashbacks.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
That and
Believe it or
They're-
not, I'm walking on air.
yeah, that was another one of my shows from the 80s. That, along with Dukes of Hazzard, The A-Team, Simon and Simon,
Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy, and then
Well, that was more late 70s.
and then when I moved up here, it started coming out Miami Vice.
The original Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
Logan's Run, the series, which was not that great, frankly, but you know,
Okay.
it was fun anyway.
All right.
Oh yeah, Jack Sue, that was Yamana.
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
it is 6:30. Why don't we, or 7:30? Let's just switch those cameras.
Anyone remember Baa Black Sheep? Hell yes, I
yeah.
do.
Oh yeah, because most of the
Pappy Boyington.
because half of the aircraft used in that show were based out of Chino Airport, which we used to go out to all the time.
All
So
the
actually,
old Corsairs.
and all the T6s they converted to look like Zeros. Of course,
Zeros and Zeeks, yeah.
yeah, they did all that actually originally for Tora.
Yeah.
And they just reused the assets.
What the hell,
over
they're
again.
there, you know,
Yeah,
use 'em.
exactly.
Yeah, that was Robert Conrad.
Yep.
Robert Conrad, yeah. Battery on the shoulder, knock it off, I dare ya.
Yeah.
And then he got in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, I remember him from also the Wild Wild West, the original series.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are going to go and take a 5-minute break. And I held up 10 fingers, 5-minute break. And then we will be back. And then we're going to be working on Rebel Squirrel's Patreon reward.
Rebel Squirrel, I'm
I think-
pointing directly at you.
You're just go. He's trying to run off the camera, off the screen.
You. All righty, folks.
All right.
5 minutes. Catch you then.
Yep. And this man actually ran downstairs, picked oranges, squeezed orange juice, and this is why he's an awesome dude. By the way, Halloween, Foxy? Yes, Emma Peel was one of those things when I was young
That will carbonate your hormones.
that I didn't quite understand why, but I just loved watching the Avengers because there was just something about Emma Peel and I couldn't quite put my finger on it when I was little. But it had no influence on me.
And then you could put your finger on it.
Yeah. Yeah. But it had no influence on me in my art.
No,
No, nothing at all.
Dr. Engel's leather in a spray.
Yeah, no, nothing at all. Yep, just fully back to normal guy.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be now doing another Patreon reward. This one's going to be for Rebel Squirrel.
Rebel Squirrel.
And I'm going to state right now, I'm not going to be able to finish all of Rebel's piece. We're going to get this one started. Rebel knows it's going to be a fairly complicated piece, but we're going to get laid out. There's a lot of elements in here. There's going to be a character, there's going to be a machine gun, and there's going to be a car.
Yep. That's one or two things, yes.
Yeah. Well, he's got a few months he's built up, so we're going to basically...
Oh, is this going to be like, I'm going to guess, another Gangster Octavia?
Nope. This is going to be his Jennifer Sherwood
Ah, okay,
picture.
yeah.
With
Okay.
the Stutz Bearcat and...
Oh, that's right, you were mentioning that earlier.
Yep.
All righty. You know, so as Baron stocks up there.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the world's fastest Tequila Sunrise from scratch.
Yep. 100% organic.
Now, it really, really helps to have an overachieving orange tree in the
Yep.
backyard, and the orange squozer was still out.
Yep.
Like, yeah, orange juice everywhere. Oh my God, you know, face, you know. Just another day in the,
Yep.
in the farm. So we go back to over here, and I'm going to push this right here because it
Yep.
says draw partner.
But no. All those pictures I draw, patina, rosemary, and heck, even ponies.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you add the car bit. And oh, by the way, Rebel, when I was out today doing some homework and collecting some reference on Stutz Bearcats, I was very amused to come across, because we were talking about the whole thing of course, we have, Stutz Bearcat. I think you can see this on there. But I actually found a Stutz that someone went and actually put a Vickers machine gun on the back of it. So I thought that was kind of hilarious.
It's perfect. It's to take care of those tailgaters.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking back and forth about a picture of of actually having a machine gun mounted, having a Colt 1895 potato digger there on the front of it. Oh, about Vipera? Oh, yes. One of Vipera is Patina's arch nemesis, or you could say the other way around. Patina's Vipera's arch nemesis. And she is in the dictionary under the phrase, the one your mother warned you about.
You know those men your mother warned you about?
Yeah.
I'm them.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes. She's the woman your mom warned you about. Now, one of the things that's going to be kind of interesting is Jennifer's not a really, she's not a real big lady. And when I was doing some homework, researching up for this piece, I'm going to actually move her up a little bit so I have enough room for her. One of the things that always surprises me, because the Lewis machine gun is described as being this light machine gun, for one of the first of the successful ones of its type, is it's a really big, long thing. So yeah, that'll be better. That'll give me more room so I can fit her properly into the frame of the picture. There we go. And general rule, your legs are about the length of your head and torso. So about down there is where her foot will be. She doesn't wear high heels. She wears more like practical gymnast footwear. She's running around up on the rooftops and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just light compared to a Maxim.
Yeah. Halloween, 70 Gran Torino? Yeah, that's a nice ride.
Dad had a 73 Gran Torino, 351 Cleveland in it. It's the car I more or less learned how to drive in.
McClaw, just you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're fine going out.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's see. Sometimes you need to ask a question. Yeah, again, it comes flying by, and we're doing other things off.
Yeah.
Yeah, off screen there. So if we don't see it, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't catch it all, especially when there's so many folks in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Light is always relative. Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of people your mother warned you about, how goes the GMing?
Well,
We're not dead yet.
Yeah, doing your best. Now, actually, the most recent.
Thank you, Orca.
The most recent game. This is the game that Cat's Paw and Dusty and Baron, are in that I do the game mastering on. They had just staggered, beaten and bloodied into the little town of Hergen's Bridge, which is named after a dwarven-made, a very impressive bridge
Of great antiquity.
Yeah, it was over 2,000 years old, that spans the Redstone River. And that bridge, by the way, the dimensions, everything about it, I basically picked up this bridge that's on the border between Spain and Portugal in a place called Alcantara. It's a Roman-era bridge, made under Trajan. And I just basically dropped it into my world there. And it's 2,000 years old, and you can drive cars across it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. If the Romans can do it, so can a dwarf.
That's right.
And so anyway, they staggered into town.
Emphasis on staggered.
Yeah, and say the local, it's a town that's a little over half dwarves, and the rest of them are various races, mostly human, a few Varg, basically the wolf dudes, say one or two Ursa, the bear dudes, and so the sergeant is Norden, a human. comes out to meet them. It's like, okay, you look like caravan guards. Where's your caravan? And I was like, it's a long story, because the whole reason they are there, at Hergen's Bridge, which is in a part of the world called the Spire Vale. It's a wooded area fairly far north, as opposed to the desert
where
way
we
down,
started.
where it started way down south, hundreds of miles away. They took a little jaunt into the Shadow Realm while pursuing somebody that had betrayed, their caravan and had one of the rest, well, basically had infiltrated a fortress slash, oasis that everybody was, stopping at, and they decided to take it over for themselves. And met with overwhelming force. The party had fled into a series of caves that at the very bottom was a portal into the Shadow Realm. Didn't look like a portal, but that was where the big bad, when overwhelmed by the party, tried to escape to, and with his ass full of arrows, quite
And
literally.
a big rock flying through the portal with them.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Peak.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, so he was a warlock, but the party got the better of him, and so he dives into onto this raised platform. It just looks like a circular platform of sandstone, and just falls right through it. Is it an illusion? No, it goes on. So first thing is that he dives in, and the very first thing that the rogue in the party, Peak, does is grab a big rock and throw it after him. Give me a die roll. 20. And so when they dove in after him, they found him dead, with his head bashed in by a rock. But they were in this place that was, everything was like black and white and shades of gray, leaning very, very heavily towards the darker, with only a few paths vaguely glowing on the ground. A little, little stone gazebo, insert gazebo jokes here, marking where they came in, and a few spots on the ground of different color, which they later on figured out were exit portals. And this, this inky void creature of human outline hunkering over the dead body of the warlock and pulling at its shadow, which was making itself into another inky, no reflection, etc. It's a shadow. That's the monster name. So he took care of that. Figured out that we got to get out of here, because while they're in the shadow plane, the life force in the form of maximum hit points slowly drains away. So they said, okay, we got to get out of here. What are these spots on the ground? They dropped rocks and things into
And
them.
stuck a severed arm through.
Yeah, exactly. Peak, the rogue. You got to keep an eye on her. She's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Lopped off one of the arms of the dead warlock and just used it as a probe. Oh, it's fine. She's a little bit weird.
Yeah. A little.
Yeah. Chaotic, crazy. And said, okay, well, we'll go one that's vaguely green, because that reminds us of forest. Because the other one was vaguely blue. Oh, that sounds like water. And the other one was very whitish. Oh, that looks like ice. Oh, that one looks like desert sand. Clunk, clunk. Oh, that one's not actually a portal, or it's closed or something.
Yeah.
So they decided to go to the forest and dropped literally onto a grassy hillside in the middle of a clearing in the forest, and tumbled down to the bottom. They had been going nonstop for for 24 hours of fear and combat, and it's an adrenaline. And remember, these are all started off as first level characters. This was their first real fights. 16 to 20-year-old kids for the first time, fighting for their lives, finding out what it's like to sprout an arrow between your shoulder blades. Hey, that kind of actually hurts.
Well, more importantly, we lost basically, Braden along the way, because he was kind of our anchor, our wise senior.
He's the NPC.
Yeah, he was the NPC, but he was the the combat veteran and our leader. So it was like, we lost him too.
Yeah. Well, again, besides, you're the players, you have to lead.
Yes.
But he had to take care of the civilians.
Yep.
But so anyway, they start making their way through the forest. They had a vague idea of where they were.
They had a ranger.
Yeah. So that would be this deer dude, played by this Baron guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're making their way through the forest, and they hear cursing in Dwarvish. and they find a bunch of goblins, which in my campaign, they're not like orc types, they're fey creatures. They're from the realm of fairy, and they're not very nice.
Not the prize bulbs either.
Yeah, not really, no. But a whole bunch of them, like almost 20 of them, had basically treed a dwarf, except he was up on a stone spire, for which the Valley of Spirevale is named. There's these little tiny Devil's Tower type things, and taking a pot shot at him with bows and arrows every time he showed his head. One of them had found a mound of giant termites, giant meaning 6 inches long, and was plucking at the warrior termites and throwing them at him, so once in a while get this, giant biting, insect mad as hell, and so the party decided to rescue him. It's like, it's scary. They actually for a moment were saying, should we leave him? It's like, oh, is it going to be this kind of game? Yeah, but they decided to save him.
Well, nothing else. My character, Cedric, I'm a ranger. I'm supposed
yeah.
I'm supposed to save.
Oh, I'm going. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. So they saved him, and found out.
And almost killed ourselves in the process.
Yeah, dropped 2 of them to 0. It was great.
Yeah.
You guys at the time were 2nd level, so you're a little bit crunchy. And again, Catspaw's character he's sort of the tank of the party. He's a Varg, that's a wolf dude. He's a fighter. He's sword and shield type. Meat shield, yeah, meat shield, meat.
Keep talking.
You're hand posing.
I'm just talking. Okay, that because I want to make sure certain parts of the gun aren't clunking in the back of Jennifer's head.
Yep. Plonk. Ow.
Yes.
And so dwarf,
perfect solution to the problem.
Yep,
Okay,
there
keep
you
going. Keep going.
Yay!
Solution.
Yeah. And he confirms I just north of Harrigan's Bridge, and okay, yeah, we kind of thought that, and so they stagger eventually into town. He had been traveling from a dwarf fortress to the north, Kol Kazad, I believe it is. And had he was traveling with a bunch of basically beer and whiskey. He was actually trying to see the world, but might as well make some money on the side. His whole shtick is he's an NPC. His whole shtick is he wants to see all the great dwarven works of antiquity. He's a historian. He's also a cleric, cleric of the dwarven war god.
Which means that him and Dave can talk about nerdy history stuff.
Exactly. They stagger into town. And that's the start of the game there. And at that point, it was, they basically just face planting, and it's like, where's your caravan? If you're a caravan guard, it's a long story. It's of course now the sergeant's like, okay, what are these people? And they finally got out of them. It's like, we basically fell from a hole in the sky. It's like, 1 league north of town and maybe a quarter league off to the east of the road. Okay, get the idea. It's like, this is not the first time he's heard of that.
People falling out of the sky. It happens all the time around here.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing but trouble.
They should put a sign of falling adventurers.
Yep, exactly. So most of last session was basically people taking stock of their situation, catching their breath. Again, several of them had been reduced to 0 hit points at one time or another, so they were aching.
Yeah.
Dusty's character's a bard. He ended up singing for.
Hey there, Horseshoe.
Hello, Horseshoe.
Or Horse, I should say. I'm doing a Patreon reward for Rebel Squirrel, and both hands hold weapon. Now she's gonna be slung over her shoulder, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have her holding the drum magazine in her other hand. That way, I don't have to worry about the drum banging her in the back of the head.
Waiting to reload.
Yes.
Yeah. So most of the game last time was, for lack of a better term, housekeeping.
You have to do that every once in a while.
Not a whole lot of combat. In fact, the only blood that was drawn was, the one.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, Dusty's character is a bard, and so he's performing his singing and stuff. He said, "Now I'm going to show you some tricks." He juggles some daggers, and he says to Cedric, Baron's ranger deer character, "Come up on stage. Hold very, very still." Starts hanging stuff from his antlers. "Don't move. It's part of the act." steps back, covers his own eyes with
Supposedly a blindfold.
with a blindfold. He's like, "It's okay, I can see through it." It's like, "But you're still gonna throw daggers. Don't move." Okay, Dusty, fine. Give me a roll. 2. He rolls a 2 on the dice. So it's like, okay, right between the eyes, hilt first. Right between the eyes, bonk, raises a big old welt in the middle of his forehead. Hey, it's all part of the act, folks. It's all part of the act. That was so Dusty.
Yeah, I want to get Thatch up on stage and
Show him the.
yeah, here, put this
Let's
apple.
play
on,
William Tell.
We'll put an apple on your head, and I'll shoot this bird blunt at it.
Yeah. Actually, better yet, hold it in your teeth.
Yeah,
Okay, hold my head to the profile from like
Now-
this. No, straight on.
yeah. Now, I guarantee you, folks, that this apple will not be harmed.
Yeah. They're saying with absolutely no blood drawn from me.
But a bruise he'll remember for a while.
Yep. And Cato says, "Will that Lewis gun have its barrel shroud?" Well, it looks like it.
Yeah, it's gonna have. And one of the things is that, like I say, they are big. Let me see if I can find the ref because I actually grabbed a picture of a British
Yep.
reenactor
Yep.
holding one of these things, and it's like, wow, they are.
Not small.
No, there's a picture of a guy holding one of these things. So
Yeah.
definition of light and portable changes over time.
You can stagger with it. It's portable.
Yes, you can use it as a crutch if you have to. So it's like, yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
CNR Arsenal had a very good hour-long video on them. Everything, the whole bringing that thing into existence.
Let's see. So what else happened besides Dusty almost say trying his best to kill his ranger? Yeah, if it would have been a natural one, it would have been full dagger damage.
Yeah. I assume that if he'd rolled a 1, that would have been my
Yeah.
It's all part of the show.
Yeah. Let's show you what we do for the next act. Hand me my bow.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring him back from the dead.
Shoot him in the ass. Yeah. The rogue got bored, started wandering around stealing bread from bakeries, and it's like, no, you're gonna screw it up for all of us.
Yeah.
Our human mage. The thing is that the reason that he was there, the human mage, was he was sort of a servant, etc.
Yeah,
of an older mage. They were
Good
were looking for a warlock from 600-700 years ago that was supposedly had died in the area that supposedly had an interesting book.
Interesting.
Yeah, in D&D 5, warlocks there's 3 different kinds, and one of them is called Pact of the Tome, where they have a book that as long as it's with them, they have all kinds of extra magic and things like that. It was just such a book that they were looking for. Well, it was found. Heavily cursed, heavily trapped, et cetera, but they managed to, with only one explosion, get into it and found some spells. I had prepared an actual physical book, one of those handmade paper books that you can get on Amazon, and I put the spells in there that you could find, and had the name of a devil that they can now if they're going to do a summoning or something like that, it would give them advantage against it. That sort of thing. Let's see.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. Nope.
Exactly. So they're starting to ingratiate themselves with the dwarves a little bit. They went out and did some archery practice with them. Found out, oh, hey, we're going to be doing, because there's some goblin activity in the area. Thanks for telling us. We're going to do some war games. Would you guys like to be the red team?
Yeah, we're gonna be up 4.
Yeah, exactly. You'll give them, you'll carry, he'll be on the opposite side of the river from, where the trouble is. So you'll carry wooden weapons, for safety, and bird blunts, arrows instead of regular arrows for safety, and you'll get real rewards for, capturing, say, an outpost, or capturing, basically to capture the flag thing. And
of course,
they're not going to tell the other the dwarven soldiers. It's like, no, let's see what they do.
And of course, because don't worry, we'll be doing on this, and this will be going on, and it should be all fine. And we're going to have wooden weapons. So I am pretty damn certain we are going to get attacked by goblins during the middle of this war game. Because That's what happens in these kind of campaigns.
I guarantee you will not be attacked by goblins.
The dragon.
Got it. No. Now, I say you guys ain't even 3rd level yet, so I'm not going to do that to you yet. Maybe when you're 3rd level, you'll get an ancient red dragon.
Woo, boy.
No,
Yeah, we play with those nifty little crossbows they have mounted on top of the bridge.
they have the top of the bridge on the is on the towers that the bridge rests upon. They have these platforms that have these they have the gatehouses rather, and the gatehouses on top of the towers of the gatehouses have these big Roman era ballista. Basically they shoot telephone poles. I say, why do you need those? For the dragons. What do you think? Oh. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I guarantee you will not be attacked by goblins during the war games.
Undead from another dimension.
Well, that's you guys are undead for the other dimension. Yeah, you guys all died, didn't you know?
I didn't die.
You sure?
Yeah, I took a lot of damage, but
Are
I
you
didn't.
sure?
I'm positive.
Are you sure you're not actually dead, and this is just the you're in the afterlife, and you're
My antlers would be buzzing. My dad told me that.
Okay, there you go.
That's one way to tell if you're dead. Is your antlers start buzzing.
Yeah.
That's the great spirits telling you it's time to head off to the hunting grounds.
Yep. I'm sure that they will all be carrying their real weapons, or at least one of them with them, regardless. Just because if you're not that paranoid, I haven't been doing my job right.
Right.
But I think I've been doing my job right.
Mm-hmm.
So. But anyway, yeah. So that's how it's going. We got the party has had a chance to stop, take a breath, sell some of the junk that they had accumulated. Okay, they're not rich by any means, but as long as Dusty, his character, keeps, singing for their supper, they've at least got that. So, it's a chance to say, holy crap, that's what combat's all about. This is what being an adventurer is all about. Oh, that hurt. It really hurt.
Well, at least for my characters, I'm going, yeah, this is what all the stories about, and all the guys would come back from patrols and everything and sit around the fire and talk about this stuff. It's like, yeah, this is cool. Of course, I'm 16 years old. I can walk things off.
Hey, Carew.
I can't walk off now.
Yeah, it's your first time here, Carew? I think we've seen you before.
I think Carew's been here before.
Carew from Ferrymuck. Ah, I remember.
Yes.
I remember the days of Ferrymuck.
Yep.
Oh, geez, that was a long time ago.
Many, many, many years ago.
Oh, geez.
It is heavy. It is about 26 pounds, if I remember correctly.
Is that with or without the water on the jacket?
It doesn't have a water jacket. It's air cooled.
Okay, that's.
It has a big set of aluminum fins inside there, and the idea was that the muzzle is back here. When you fire it, it actually draws air through the jacket, which helps cool.
Well, that's clever.
Yeah, Lewis actually came up with a fairly good idea with this. It was ahead of its time in many ways. It was also interesting to find out that this bulge here at the bottom, what they had in there is actually a clockwork, because they wanted to get the spring away from the barrel and the gas tube and everything, so it wouldn't heat up and lose temper. So they put this wound up coil spring down here, and there's a gear and pinion mechanism that basically moves it back and forth and provides motivation energy. I say CNR Arsenal did a really great video on this. It's one of the reasons why I do give them $1 a month. You get some good historical reference stuff, which has been very, very handy for things like working on Rhone. Okay, there we go.
So Caspar says that Gray is still feeling a little traumatized. It's like, well, yeah. One of the shadows, stuck its claws into Gray's chest cavity.
Tried making him another one.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he failed one of his death saves before they were.
Yeah, because that's when I used the inspiration I had collected.
Right. Yeah. So.
Right through Celestia at the problem.
Yeah. So he had, the icy cold claws of an undead past his rib cage, rattling around, it's in his lungs and through his diaphragm and scratching at his heart. And it's like, that's not an experience that they really prepare you for.
Yeah, you're going to wake up in a cold sweat from that one a few times.
Yeah, and again, Gray's what, 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a hell of a way to get introduced to the harsh realities of adventuring.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
no, my fun was with the giant scorpion, or the big scorpion that gave me a hug with its claw. It was an owie. Much owie.
Yeah, Ari Carey says only a fur could carry it with style. I disagree. Antonio Banderas,
Uh-huh.
the most beautiful Spanish woman in the world. No, if you take a look at Desperados, like, oh, yeah, he wasn't handsome. He was pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you had a thing for him, if I remember.
he was very cute. But
Now he's a very dignified-looking middle-aged man.
yep. Actually, he's older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would say he's aged better than, lots of folks, like
Yeah.
say Rutger Hauer. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was beaten by the same ugly stick that they beat Rod Stewart with. But
Yeah. I had an idea that these were big. I wasn't certain whether or not Lucas had made them larger for the movie, but if you watch Star Wars, especially the original New Hope, a lot of the stormtroopers carry MG-34s and Lewis guns as the heavy blasters, especially at Mos Eisley.
yeah. The one that was trying to set up on the tripod. Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah. Okay, man, lock your weapons. So, going in to get Han Solo and Luke and Obi-Wan as they're getting on the Millennium Falcon. They're carrying them.
Yep. Yeah. Crass joke time. Yeah. Cat saw Gray's old enough to bleed. Yeah. Never mind. Nah, you guys are all adults in your world, and finding out that this is how grown-ups play, and they play for keeps, don't they?
Hey, and I'll say this much: at least when we were out doing the target practice, Leto finally started hitting things.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Is he had that,
Leto is our human sharpshooter. Mm-hmm. Archer, and the dice just cursed him.
in combat. I was actually doing okay there. Whereas when we were at the butts, I was like, well, I'm not doing so hot.
Yeah.
But hey, when it really matters, I hit things.
Does it bleed? Yeah. Well, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I mean, let's say we have the game next week. Dusty will be out, but he'll be singing for you guys supper.
Okay, so we're gonna still have a
Yeah,
session.
I think we're gonna go ahead and do the game.
Okay, alrighty. Wasn't sure about that or not.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah. Got time to
Woo,
duck.
woo, woo.
Got time to duck.
Yep. Is that barrel lined up with the receiver?
Not yet. I gotta still work it out. It is a little bit low here and a bit high. I'll tweak that little line. One thing I usually will do when I do something like this, and I actually skip this little step, is I'll take it and I'll go whoop-a-doo, and I'll draw a line.
Yeah, right down the middle. And say, okay,
So
that's
that,
then through the back of the receiver, same way. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to there, comes to there, to there. Okay. So I need to kind of adjust the jacket downward here. But it is also, comes up pretty high. It's actually higher than the top of the receiver. The jacket on this thing is pretty huge. It's a pretty massive piece of aluminum.
Yeah.
That's why I said I didn't expect to get this all done on this thing. I just want to get kind of blocked in. I'll have to go ahead and tweak and play with this. But this is Rebels saved up about 3 months for this. So hey, we're gonna give them a good something serious. So to make it worth this thing as a patron. And actually, now's the time to do a little bit of plug for that. I know a lot of you who are tuned in are actually patrons of mine on Patreon. But for folks who may be new, this is what I do for a living. I don't have a day job. I am at work at the moment, creating art. And so one of the things that makes it possible for my wife and I to pay our bills, pay our rent in the Bay Area, which is not a cheap place to live, is through the support of Patreon. And for as little as $1 a month,
You get to see everything a week early.
yeah, that's right. And I'm also going to be doing some new stuff this year because Patreon is initiating a thing called attainment. And that basically will tell you, okay, this person has put this much money in. And there's some folks, you've been in on this since the very, very get-go. And maybe you're not one of the $50 a month people, but you've contributed like $100 and some odd dollars.
Over the months, yeah.
Yeah, over the months. So I'm going to be contacting folks this year and saying, hey, you guys, you've put in the equivalent of like, a 1 month of a $50 tier, and because you've stuck through all this, you're going to get something for it. And the attainment software that they are initiating is going to go a long ways towards making that a lot easier for me to be able to go through and contact folks. Okay, you got this much coming to you that you can spend in the way of art for your support on Patreon. So, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here tonight, consider possibly just doing $1 a month even. If you can't think I can commit to that, then there's a thing stream tip down there on the bottom.
Give him $1.
Like I say, it all goes towards it because, like I say, this is what I do for a living.
Okay, let's see if there's any other folks. Steam-powered werehog. Have you been here before?
I don't think so.
I would have remembered
that name.
Yeah, welcome.
That's an amazing name.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. $2. Give $2.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody else
for
here
Frank,
that's new?
maybe I don't consider it generous. What I consider generous is the fact that people have
Well, the
been
generosity is in the chat right now, and it's you guys.
Yeah. So I'm doing this for you guys.
Yep.
And so I want to be able to give something back for everything you've done. Because to be quite honest, about 4 years ago, I was starting to think maybe I was going to be one of those guys who just never quite was able to do what he had gone to school and basically spent most of his adult life preparing for, which was to be a professional illustrator. And Patreon was one of the things that made that happen. So I am very, very much in debt to the support I've gotten through Patreon.
Okay, let's see. What else we got here? Yeah, Karu, don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't put yourself out.
If nothing else, Karu, if you're enjoying this tonight, tell your friends about it. Tell them about the stream. We do this every other Saturday. Tell them about about my Patreon. Tell them about my DeviantArt. Follow me on DeviantArt. We're on Twitter. Signal boosting is in of itself a form of support.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we had a couple more folks here. D Sketcher, have you been here before? If so, welcome back. If not, then welcome. Saying good luck with the issues on Picardo. Apparently, just a few people are having problems with it. It probably depends on how you're connecting. What your ISP, what they do to get to Patreon.
Also, are you running HTML5 too?
Yeah. So again, it's not universal. Yeah, everybody takes their turn. Flusonics, are you new? If so,
I'm glad. Oh, Steam Powered Warthog is first time.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well,
hope you're enjoying yourself.
Absolutely.
Say to you, D Sketcher.
Yep. Say, come for the art, stay for the people, and old man stories.
Yeah.
God, what else do we got here? We got going down the list. Okay, Flusonics. Hello, hello. Welcome back, Horse. Let's see. Anybody else? I think that's it for this batch. See, for the folks who are newly arrived here, Baron runs the show every other week, every other Saturday, starting at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, going to 9:30 p.m. Pacific. So we're about two-thirds of the way through. Again, we take a break once every hour on the half hour, so that's like at 5:30, at 6:30 to 7:30 to 8:30. So we're going to take a break in about 15 minutes. It'll be about a 5-minute break, a chance for you to stretch, refreshen your drink, go potty, that kind of thing.
As if you've had plenty of drinks, now is a chance to relieve yourself of those drinks.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly, drinks are only borrowed. And again, what Baron is doing right now is he has a Patreon, and he is doing Patreon rewards, and this one is for Rebel Squirrel.
Yep.
So yeah.
Now I'm going to get to actually one of the interesting parts about the Lewis gun. The drum has these interesting little, kind of crenellations in it, and they're not done as a lightning
rigidity. Yeah.
No, that's not actually what they actually act to help move the cylinder and lock it in place.
So they're indexing.
Yes, they're indexing marks. Like I say, Matthias went into a great bit of detail explaining exactly how all these different components in the Lewis gun works, and it's one of these, nowadays you'd never make something like this. It's way too complicated, too many machining steps, way too much hand fitting has to be done. But at the turn of the 20th century, that was how you could do it, and they did. Boy, howdy did they.
All right. Yep. Thanks for reminding me. Say generic. We will cover that shortly.
Oh,
Yeah. We'll say once an hour we have our little thank you spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Colonel Yale.
Like a woman, I have to go potty. Potty emergency. Potty, potty, potty. Can I borrow your potty?
Yeah. Yes.
Sure, go for it.
Oh, potty.
I haven't cleaned it in a year, though. I can't go there.
I can't do that in there.
It's disgusting.
Carew, please do, as long as it's safe for work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And say, yeah. Yep. Well, believe me, Cato, I understand property taxes. I'm in California.
Yep.
Yeah. Say, hey, horse, there is not a damn thing in the world wrong with 243 Winchester. It is a really nice little cartridge.
Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Oh, since it was mentioned, we're going to go ahead and do our hourly duty. We do this once per hour. What the hell am I talking about? I am talking about this. That is to say thank you to our sponsors, University Art. They keep Barron supplied with art supplies. University Art is a high-end art supplies and framing shop with outlets in San Jose and Redwood City and Sacramento, California. They have an expert sales staff who are all artists themselves. They are not on commission.
So they on the car.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So they will sell you the right thing, not the expensive thing. They have workshops. They have demonstrations. They have craft fairs. It's more than just an art store. It's a community. They also occasionally will loan us their artists to be guests.
Hello, Roy Red Studio. Are you new?
Hello. And so speaking of say next week, we're going to borrow one of their artists actually who is
next stream, not next week.
Yeah, you're right. Every other week here, Jaya King, who does artwork with encaustics, which is molten wax, pigments, and blowtorches. So you get to see her set Barron on fire with a flamethrower. It's great, and
it's amazing.
It is. So, and she is far more energetic even than Pinkie Pie. It is a sight to behold. So, and Jaya is actually she's an ex University Art employee because she's doing what Barron's doing, which is going full-time artist. Sweet. So anyway, that's University Art. Thank you to thank you to them. Thank you to Mike and Jeff for the managers there for sponsoring us. They sometimes lurk and watch. So hi, Jeff.
Well, more importantly, Mike put up with me for 20 years almost. So.
God, that is
patience of a saint.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you very much. Our duty is done. Whoop. Back to our normally scheduled vixen.
Yes.
Oh, and might you add in the holster on Jennifer's left thigh?
Oh yeah, I'll put that in.
Yep.
She's got dual 1911s.
Yep.
And she's 1911s on 1911 A1s.
And Barron is not going to forget the thighs.
Nope.
No. Hello, Royal Red. Yeah. So Barron is that guy there.
I'm the guy drawing.
Yeah, there's finger. I'm the guy that's not on screen. I'm Caradwin. I basically hit things with hammers, and I'm the Ed McMahon to his Johnny Carson. So let's see. Who else we got here? Hey, Brown Bear is somebody else from the good old days. I think I remember him from Furry Muck.
Yeah, well, he still is on for. I know he's on FA. He comments on FA. I think he even comments on.
I see somebody else that's new. I see Maven Cash. Hello, Maven Cash. Welcome. I think you're new here. Welcome. If you're actually not new here, then welcome back.
And I need to actually look at this wheelbase. I made a mistake.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's a simple fix.
Yep, it's a Stutz Bear Weasel.
Yeah.
There we go. So
Needs to be a wee bit longer. The Stutz Bearcat's a really interesting vehicle. It's a type of automobile we would never build today. It's kind of like the closest equivalent now would be the Atom. It's more like a car you sit on top of than sit in.
You perch on it. You don't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You ride it, not ride in it. Yeah, I see somebody new. Hello, Vegas Fabine or Fabin. Vegas Fabin, yes. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's Baron. I'm not, and welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm. We're looking at okay. We're looking at time.
Yeah, I got another 10 minutes before we take our next break.
Yep. Okay.
How's things going tonight? Pretty well, Mr.
Good.
Vegas. Pretty well. Picardo is mostly behaving itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's sporadic reports of trouble here and there, but you know, at least it's not everybody. Yeah.
What was that?
No, that was me moving.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't me gassing you. No.
Okay, well, more on the floor vibrator.
There we go.
What I'm doing right now is I'm going to move the cape a little bit because there's some details in the Stutz that I want to be visible. And at the moment, her cape is getting in the way. So I just want to curl it around a little bit here just to get
To get it out of the way.
Right. Because really kind of weird things about the Stutz, like it doesn't really have a windshield. And apparently not all models had this. But what they had was this circular piece of glass you attach to the
like a
steering
dinner plate
column.
right in front of you. Yeah.
Right. And it makes a lot more sense when you start looking at these vehicles. Oh, that's why you always see pictures of old motorists, and they're always wearing those goggles and like gloves and everything. 'Cause they're driving on these roads collecting, rocks and squirrels and things.
Yep. Well, maybe that's how Rebel got the idea. He was run over by one. Yeah. So, what paper are you using now?
I am this.
Is this still the?
This is still the
Cover stock?
Yeah, this is the card stock. This is the card stock I get from Kelly Paper. It is Craig Hill Digital. I am actually going to be switching to a paper that is a house brand from Kelly Paper that I like. I've got some samples and I tried it out. It actually is a little bit nicer, a little bit less prone to smudging. Lets me do all the same line work I want. It is a bit more expensive, but it's like, wow. $14 for 250 sheets versus $7 and some odd cents. I think I can afford that, and it'll give my clients a better quality product.
Yeah. So let's see. So Royal, Roy, he's not using like the Castellan art pads. He uses that for his bigger stuff. But no, this is a very specific, copier photocopier laser printer cover stock. It's 100% cotton.
No, it is a blend.
Cotton blend.
And that's one of the things why I'm going to the other stuff too. Is it's a little bit better quality.
And he's lusting after your pencil. What is it?
Tell us about your pencil.
Well,
tell us,
you
tell
can thank Larsus for this. This is a Rotring 800 series. This is a beaut of a pencil. Nice little retracted. Protects it. It's
sexy, ain't it?
All metal construction. The other one I work with quite a bit is a Conor Rapidomatic 0.5 millimeter.
Which is a classic.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this was a very generous gift last Christmas by Larsus. And I knew it had to be him because of the little card that came along with it from Amazon.
There you
This
go.
has got to be Larsus.
I think I see some folks who may also be new. Decium, are you new? If so, welcome. If not, then welcome back. Who else we got here that may be new, which we need to say hi at? That might be, I think Misha Fox has been here before.
Oh, Mission Box has been here, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, back here. Welcome back.
Decium says they're new. Well,
Hello, Decium.
Welcome. Checking your dude.
We got anybody else here? Okay, yeah, that's the new ones for this moment. Yeah, say for the folks who are new, we do take a break every hour on the half hour, which means that at 8:30 our time Pacific, about 5 minutes from now, we're going to take a brief break. 5 minutes just for being biological and stretching and refilling your drinks, that kind of thing. So be prepared for a 5-minute break in about 5 minutes.
Complete with music.
Yep. Speaking of music, you'll occasionally hear horrible things like.
And an hour or so ago, you would have heard him playing Dusty Cat, the manliest brony, who is off in New Zealand at the moment, riding motorcycles around the island and chasing hobbits.
Yep, playing we'll play a little bit more guitar at the start of the next hour. But yeah. So who else? Anybody else new? But anyway, yeah. So welcome to all folks here. Again, we do this every 2 weeks. Next show is going to be on March 3rd, and we're going to have a guest artist. Her name is Jaya King. Does encaustics, again, molten wax with pigments, flamethrowers. It's blow torches literally. I'm not kidding here.
Yeah,
and we'll see if they can set my house on fire and melt Baron like a crayon.
And she can have a spiritual reunion with your wall hanging again.
Yeah. I have an alpaca tapestry type wall hanging that she likes to rub up against. Oh, so I know what to get her for Christmas.
Yes.
But no, she is a hoot too. She is incredibly energetic. She makes Pinkie Pie look absolutely Maud Pie in comparison. Woo boy.
Yep.
But she'll be here, and she has some really cool techniques. And I think she's going to do another one of those transfer techniques.
Well, I'm still going back and forth confirming that, unless you've talked to her.
Oh, yeah, she said she wants to do something like that. And it looks like you had the one piece that was just begging for it.
Yes, the one I did for McAllister.
Yes, yeah, just begging for it.
Of the Wonderbolt shooting the lightning bolts.
Yep.
Pinkie.
There's a difference between a Rembrandt woodless and a Walmart art pencil. Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you want to see Jaya's head explode, you say, "Can you just melt crayons then?" And you will get the best stink eye you have ever seen, the best dirty look. If looks could kill, there's a smoldering ash pile. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Push her buttons. She's funny. So.
And she's got her own OC pony now. She's got Encaustica.
Her name is, exactly. It's a flamethrower art.
In fact, I'll probably do a piece of artwork as kind of a promo for Encaustica coming back on the air. I'll do the wooden spoked wheels when I get home. I want to set that up correctly and everything. Well, we're not doing this. Let's remember to put that other Colt 1911 on that other hip.
You got it. Brombear wants to know, how long do you normally let the Gamma Sol do its thing on your pencils? It's more or less instantaneous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more or less instantaneous. Now, there are some cases where I will...
Only if you spill. Yeah,
I will wet the brush and let the brush sit for up to 10 minutes after I'm done applying the Gamsol to the brush and just let it kind of evaporate. Because sometimes you just need just a tiny little bit of it to actually get the desired results. It's, depending upon what type of technique you're looking for, it can be quite a thing. And I'll probably be doing another color pencil demonstration after BabsCon. I'll probably come on again, maybe just doing one that's a little bit more like, okay, we're going to walk you through some drills. And if you guys have color pencils at home, I might even kind of give you guys kind of like, okay, here's something you can download and print out and then transfer it over to like a piece of Bristol board, and we can kind of walk people.
Coloring book.
Yeah, basically anyone who wants to kind of get, a remote instruction, I will kind of try to walk people through it so they can get an idea how you do this.
So does anyone wants to know, what was Encaustica's cutie mark again?
Encaustica's cutie mark is a flaming honeycomb.
Yeah, because she uses beeswax.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to use paraffin because it can do things like ignite.
Yeah, and we found out doing some tests because we were curious. No Prismacolor pencils and wax art sticks that I use from Sanford will not do the trick either. They're not quite the right.
Gamsol.
Mm-hmm. Sounds flaming.
Yep. Yeah, there will be flames. It's great.
It is.
Yeah.
And she used to use heat guns and other things, and then she discovered actually, as crazy as it may sound, she has more control using a blowtorch
yeah.
than she does.
Well, yeah, you can crank it up and down, and while heat guns tend to have one speed, and the other thing is that a blowtorch doesn't have as much air movement.
Nope.
Which means that it's not physically blowing around the wax.
Mm-hmm, and pushing pigment, maybe where you don't want it to go.
Which, the hair dryers on steroids, the heat guns do.
Yep. Also, too, I would not be surprised if the blowtorch actually cools down faster than those heat guns do, because when she used to do demos in the workshops at University Art, there was always the sign the waiver, explain to people at the beginning, do not touch this end, and inevitably someone during a workshop would touch it and burn those.
The loud end.
Yes, the loud end. And he always had to have burn cream and various other things.
Yep. So it is 8:29.
Well, why don't we switch cameras here? That's about
And Rebel, by the way, saying saying this is really cool to see it take form, which it always is. I'm telling you.
Okay, so why don't we switch cameras here? Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
All right.
Now you guys get to see the ugly truth. Oh my God.
Yes. All right. So now we're coming up on the last hour, and because we have a whole bunch of new people here tonight. When I come back, what we're going to do is we're going to do a request for the last hour.
All right.
So here's some rules.
Rule number 1 is this is a request, and be a good sport if you don't your request isn't taken. Rule number 2. No OCs. That's called a commission. That's what Baron does for a living to pay his rent. Quite literally, he's a professional artist. He makes money in no other way except art.
Yep.
Rule number 3. Hold on to it and don't tell us yet. We'll say 1, 2, 3, go. And it will just be something. It'll go flying by at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it will be whatever catches Baron's fancy.
Make sure it's safe for work.
Safe for work. Has to be something he can get done in about an hour. You don't own the piece, although you can buy it later on if you want.
Yeah.
So again, it's not quote yours. It's just he's drawing your suggestion.
Idea.
Right. Exactly. And otherwise, basically we're here to have fun. So hold your requests until we say so after the break.
No, not just for new viewers, but I want to let new viewers have a chance to put something in. They came here tonight, and they're taking their time out of their Saturday night to be here watching me draw. Well, I want to give them a chance to kind of put some feedback into the thing. So anyone can throw something in. And by the way, if you do want to buy,
he'll be happy to.
You're happy, but you got to contact me after the stream. Contact me on DeviantArt. Contact me on Twitter. Contact me through the Smudge Marks and Engelworks website.
The addresses are right down there.
All those kind of stuff.
Rule 1, vote for Octavia. No, rule 1 is vote for Celestia, or better yet, you guys suggest that he draw my OC.
Or introduce noobs to patina.
There you go.
All right. Anyway, we will be back in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. We are indeed back.
For the final hour.
Test pass, Orca. Test pass. All righty. Yeah. Now, Orca, now we see you.
Yes.
All right. So back for the last of the 4-hour segments. Then we're going to go eat Jamaican jerk chicken.
Amazing stuff. Oh, and we've got these really amazing orange cranberry raisin scones.
Yeah. One of our roommates is a damn good cook. All righty, folks. So last hour, we are going to do a request. Here are the rules. Not your OC, because that's called a commission. He gets paid for that. This is a freebie. 2, safe for work and has to be able to get done in an hour. 3, be a good sport if your request is not taken. 4, you don't say if Baron picks yours and he does based on whatever strikes his fancy. Doesn't mean you own the piece. It's just it got drawn for you. But if you want to buy it, you see right over there where it says Baron Engel, DeviantArt.com, or on Twitter. Yeah, exactly.
I'm a mercenary. I do this for a living.
Exactly. But just but again, do that after the show. Send him an email. Get some kind of positive communication, because otherwise, there'll be sad feelings and things like that. All right. Are you guys ready to give your requests? 1, 0, -1, -1, -2. Oh, wait, I lied. Go, request, come on. Okay, here we go. Come on, let's get 30-30 Brave Stars and throw MLP. I agree with that one because I like that because I have a 30-30 right down here. What else we got?
That was a Patreon award I did for you, wasn't it? Yeah, show that, folks, there. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff we're talking about here.
Baron's version of this, Dragon Sketch JPEG. Look at the minute. Sunset Shimmer as a bunny girl were made. Patina and Jackie in bikinis playing with a beach ball. The Titans dance. Celestia and Troubleshoes at the Grand Galloping Stomping Gala. Pixar's Syndrome from Incredibles.
Yes.
Ponified. Tempest in a Cloak. Patina de Pony after a magical mishap that caused all of her hair to grow at least a foot longer. Basically, Kelly the Drawing Uniform Grade. Human Sassy Saddles with a denim. Yes, Baron does humans, by the way.
Yeah.
High heels. They haven't said go yet. Go! Roy, go. Gimme.
Yes.
French maid Octavia. Hey, we have to have that in there.
Yes.
Sunset Shimmer. Angel Bunny in a gimp suit. Okay. As long as he's in a kicking tee. Big Mac with a Bren gun. Rule 63, Big Mac. Anthro wiping sweat off of her brow.
Yes.
The offspring of the gator and hippo from Fantasia. That's scary.
Yes.
Anthro Twilight pulling Angel Bunny out of a hat, preferably by his neck. Octavian Final as sisters. Yeah. The dragon from Dragon Slayer. You know, the one that Vermithrax. Yes. See the Zane requesting counting down. Come on, my little Nazi pony. We'll skip that one. Big Lebowski ponies. You know. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. Big Mac with a Bren gun. Yeah, we saw that. Anthro Princess Big Mac talking with Celestia. Oh, that would be cute. Disney's Robin Hood dressed as Kevin Costner's Robin Hood. Unlike other Robin Hoods, you can speak with an English accent. Yeah. No, that would not be Kevin Costner because he can't speak with an English accent. Neither can I.
Yeah.
Sapphire Shores, show style.
Yes.
Twilight failing at volleyball with a ball spiked on her horn. That's not what we mean by spike. Patina de Mouse with a candy cane. Totally not Irma Filma with a crowbar.
Yes.
Woo-hoo, yeah. Alicorn Pinkie Pie. The world's not ready. Mouse Patina playing miniature croquet. Thor as an Anthro MLP. I'm trying to think of the pony from the MLP movie, the sparking one. That's Tempest.
A Symbala in Anthro form.
Yeah, Sonambula.
That one's interesting. That one's interesting.
The D&D Tarrasque in drag. That's like this world-crushing monster.
Yes, I know that one.
Tempest Shadow. Yes.
Let's see here.
They do have some strange taste in ponies. Yes. Let's skip that word though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Princess Cadence addressed as Princess Daphne from Dragon's Lair. My hero. But you look.
I'd say 10% play pose.
Jim Grote as a Pokemon.
No. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, I'm actually liking Symbala in Anthro form.
Sonambula?
That moment, that's the one when we're going to go a little bit longer here. We're going to have to go as a harem dancer holding a video.
Okay, it looks. But have you picked one?
I think we're going Symbala.
Sonambula.
Yes.
As an Anthro.
And Fluxnix are
Flusonics.
Are they new?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, there you go.
Hey, there you win.
All right.
So yeah, Tiamat. That's dragon with she's got 5 heads.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
That would be something for your color pencil technique, by the way.
Yeah. Well, when back in the late '90s, I worked with some people, including Smudge and some other folks. We were doing a pitch for a TV show called The Adventures of Antiquity.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, and I was probably going to end up being the voice of Tiamat because I could do all the voices of the different personalities, including the one that was in the middle sane, and the one who was the psychopathic murderer, and the other one who was the interior decorator.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, folks, just a side thing while Baron is getting ready and pulling up some Nambula reference. Just want to let folks know, Dusty Cat, who is one of the roommates here, he's currently in New Zealand on a motorcycle adventure, but he made this guitar.
Yes, horse, we settled.
Indeed. So this is going to be auctioned off.
That's true, Prow. Sorry.
Yeah. This is going to be auctioned off at the BabsCon charity auction. Dusty made this himself. Again, reshaped. It's a reshaped Fender Stratocaster Squire, but with massively upgraded electronics. It's really nice sound. I can make it make terrible sounds, which I will do. But again, nice little. You notice the fret markings, etc. Nice little Rainbow Dash. This is Rainbow Dash's guitar from Rainbow Rocks. So yeah. Let me turn this up here and show you that even a shitty guitarist like me can make it sense.
Yes. Okay. Generic, it was an interesting combination. How do I want to do this? We're doing this in landscape.
Good. And that's the neck pickup. And we go to the humbucker down on the bottom. Anyway, like I said, there's people who can play guitar. I'm not really one of them, so.
And this guitar will be at the BabsCon charity auction in late March, early April. So if you're at BabsCon, this piece will be going towards a good cause, and I'm going to have a piece of original artwork in the auction too. All right, good night, Rebel. See you in a couple of weeks. Take care. Oh, you need to switch cam, by the way.
I do, yeah. Just showing off, the
Okay.
guitar. Are you done?
Nah,
referencing?
that's okay. That's okay. But just I didn't know if you
Ready to do the thing?
If you want, if you're done playing, yeah.
Do the
switch
thing.
it over.
I'm done. I'm done torturing. I will torture people with the keyboards instead.
Okay.
I'm good at that. I can get answers. You turn down
We have ways to
the
make
volume.
you talk.
Whoop, there we go.
We have ways to make you talk.
We have ways of making you go squeal. Hilda, I will interrogate the prisoner. Bring the bucket of soapy frogs.
I feel depraved.
I feel like celebrating. Bring the cucumbers and the Tabasco sauce. I am feeling spicy.
Barrington.
Au revoir, Squishy. Au revoir.
Hasta la vista, maybe.
All right. See you again, Scotia. There's one funky talk on that Strat. Yeah, Dusty modified that as a Fender Squire, Stratocaster Squire that he modded to make it look like Rainbow Dashes.
Yep.
And he gutted all the electrics out of it and put
Yeah,
better,
some of his luthier friends sent him a whole bunch of upgraded pickups, and I gotta say that I like the sound of the one on the neck. That one's it likes to sing, but then again, that's what Stratocasters do. They're all about playing high up on the neck. Fret 7, 8, 9. That's what David Gilmour plays. He's a Strat guy. So do we have any new people? Code Steel. I think we've seen Code Steel here before, but if not, welcome.
Come.
But welcome back anyway. Who else do we have? Hey, hey, Kiberi, welcome back. Let's see, anybody else going down the list? Who else do I see that's new? Snowzard, you are new, I think. I say to you, hello.
And I say hello to you too.
Yeah. Anybody else? That looks like it for this batch.
Does the bearded dude with the guitar take song requests?
Okay, that's my new handle, Bearded Dude. Yeah,
You're a bearded dude now. Okay, you now have a visual nickname for the show. You're bearded dude.
unfortunately, I just all I do is noodle. I don't really know much in the way of actual songs. Like I say again, I'm a hack. I am a brutal hack. So yeah.
No, I'm going to turn head. I'm going to change the head cycle. I'm going to change head angle.
Yep.
Because that's going to work better on the composition. And I'm the artist. I'm allowed to do that.
Vixens and panthers, yes.
Yes.
We have ways of making go squeal. This is what we do. We shall pose at them and they shall surrender. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to put the head more like that. Yeah, that'll be better.
Because of social, political ramifications. Squeak. But let's see what we got here over on the
Synthesizer.
saxophone.
Vixens und Panzer.
Vixens und Panzer, yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Girls on Panzer. It was a very, very good series. And we just watched the real Anzio battle a month or so ago.
Hello, Rainbow. 1 plus 4 plus. I'm going to say plus 16. Rainbow 21.
Welcome back.
American and her beer. Yeah, holding the beer.
Holding the beer.
You can't do that. Holding the beer. That is the way of it. Yep. I'm not sure which came first. Maybe Tank Vixens was inspired by Ace of Spades. Actually, Tank Vixens came second because Segarra did the thing on his own, and then Paul Kidd got a hold of it, and then woohoo, off it went.
Yeah, things are prone to do when Paul's involved. Having worked on a couple projects with him, boy, can things take off in directions.
Yep. So, Colonel Yale, tell us about this Iron Harvest thing.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of stereotypings in the Anzio, but it was very, very funny. And it has some very good characters still. Some good characters that you kind of cared about.
Brombear, yeah, that's the persistent rumor that Usagi Yojimbo is going to get a TV series. Yeah.
Yes.
It's way overdue.
Yeah.
It's been one of the great undiscovered treasures, well, all the way back to its origination in Albedo, issue number 2 in 1984.
And it originally was going to get a TV series back in the 90s, and then the Bucky O'Hare TV series came out and
bombed.
did bomb because they were going to do Space Yojimbo.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was, well, if that with Rabbit failed, then this is going to be a dud too, and they killed it.
Yep. It's because it's a bunnies. No, it's because it was crappily done.
Yeah, badly executed.
But that requires too much advanced thinking to say, oh, it was because it was badly done. But on the other hand, they have a point that maybe the public would never give it a try. Oh, it's going to be another one like that, so therefore it will be bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hollywood decision makers, I don't know what goes into their brains. Well, actually, I do know it's chemicals.
And also, too, it just maybe that might not have been the time in the 90s, 20 plus years later, and
who knows?
Moods have changed.
Who knows? I mean, we've had Samurai Jack and other things like that come out of nowhere and change everything.
Yep.
So.
Alternate history. Oh, almost kind of sounds like the 1990s anime Kenshin Core, which was kind of interesting because it was mechs, vacuum tube powered mechs for the electronics, and it was actually kind of amusing how they handled that because you'd see these scenes where guys would like open up racks of there'd be like 30 or 40 tubes in there, and what you found out is you only needed 1 or 2 tubes to actually function. All the rest were redundant in case it blew a tube. Check something on this. Okay, get that hoof in right.
Weaponized steampunk is awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Real-time simulator, real-time shooter rather, looks to be spiritually inspired by company heroes. Hopefully with a better behaved community. But then again, that's not setting the bar very high, is it? Yeah. Brombear, I could try, but again, I know very few songs, particularly pop music or themes from movies, because I just don't watch that many these days. It was a shot. Is this a commission? This is a request that's being done. We just threw it open and everybody said, hey, draw this! And Baron said, that looks cool.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to get her
Yeah.
a bit more.
Yeah, Baron will do requests, maybe every 2 or 3 shows. He'll throw the doors wide open and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I'll just do this. And like I said, we had a whole lot of new people here tonight, and I wanted to give, for folks who decide to take a chance and tune in and watch 2 old guys sit around yak and one guy draw and another guy pound on the keyboard. You know, give them something as kind of a thank you.
There we go. So yeah, I play keyboards. Most of them are the 104 key type, you know, with Control and Alt and Delete is my favorite. Yeah, the Dirigibles, Goggles, and Zeppelins. Yep, for release. I don't know that anymore. I'd have to look that up. I don't read music anyway.
I imagine just her always being a little bit more on the curvy side for some reason.
I'd have to, and I have to hear it. Okay, if I hear it, I can play it back, kind of, sort of. Sometimes, maybe.
Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, basically, Beethoven, yeah.
Let's shorten that up. I need to get that in. Oh, that Jamaican jerk is really starting to smell good.
There's your Beethoven. Can I manage a James Bond theme song? Probably not. Probably not. Nobody does it worse than me, worse than all the rest. Nobody does it half as bad as me. No. Now, I have the flying trilobite pin. There we go.
Why is that sound?
No, for release horse. Again, I haven't learned much in the way of songs. I just arpeggiate chords and occasionally, you know, do things like
kind of free association music. Almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. All hail Agatha Heterodyne.
Yes.
Do I have any more rooms open for rent? No, I do not. Now it's a 4-bedroom house with 1 bedroom converted to the studio here, and the other 3 are ocupado. Ocupado, why are you doing this strange thing? Yeah, still need to work on the sky shad. It's a kind of fishy thing to do. Uh-oh, Webster says, here's what I worked on since the stream started. Princess Big Mac. Okay, let's see. I click on this thing. Yep. Whoop, there we go. Like I said, come on, go away, Dropbox thingy. No, I don't want to sign in right now. Yep. Yep, that is definitely Big Macish there, because you need to have them muscles. Muscles. This is Princess Big Mac. E-up. Princess is our Big Mac. Harold Faltermeyer. I have to go back and review it. I used to could play Axel F. That was 20 years ago. That was many years ago. I doubt if anyone would know.
When they used to have a show.
Yeah. Roan pin. Yep. You'll pair it with your Roan pin. Well, here's a Roan pin. Let's see, and it looks kind of like. I guess it wouldn't spin around. Yeah, there you go, Roan pin.
I don't know if Robert has any of those. He may have. I'll have to ask him if he's going to be bringing any of those out.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah.
He was hoping to actually jump in. He's at KatsukaCon in D.C. tonight, but he was hoping to actually, if he could get enough connection, hop on his phone.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Say hi.
Let's see. Anybody else new has showed up? Checking. Ooh, no. Okay, fine. That's okay. I see you. You've been here before. I see you're still here. Okay, so not at the moment. It's been a good night for new folks.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to throw out a little question for new folks that are in the chat and everything. Why did you decide to watch this? Was it because it was on the front page of Picardo? Did you happen to see like a posting someone made about on Twitter, or you see my DeviantArt journal posting? Just kind of curious. Did a little bit of spontaneous marketing here.
Yep.
I need some more brain lubricant.
Yeah, there you go.
Where the hell you come from?
Yeah, where are you people? Go, why are you all looking at me?
Oh.
Seem funny, that's there's just, oh, that's keyboard on the keyboard. So, that, I have a synth and I have an electric piano.
Yeah, we're aware of that, Nazumi.
Yeah. I know Nazumi, yep.
Yeah, we know. They usually don't show up until a little bit later. They show up like in the last half hour. He gets off work.
Whenever anyone thinks of Zeppelin, they always think of the Hindenburg.
Okay, front page.
Logged into Picardo, sign on the front page. Okay, fine.
All right.
And traditional art, yes.
Yes.
Front page, but would have found you for the pony. Yeah. Actually, the Picardo folks themselves kind of like, you know, the fact that Barron does traditional artwork and has a pretty good audience. That would be you guys.
Yeah.
So they will stop in once in a while themselves, and
In fact, I will going to have to send information to Sebastian, our marketing manager, about the fact that we're going to have Jaya back on, because they like to actually kind of
unusual art forms.
Yep. Promote that. When Jeff was on, they kind of promoted that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but one of the things they have comment on is the fact that you guys, the guys who tune in every week or every other week and watch this, they're very impressed by how this community conducts itself.
Yeah, exactly.
So pat yourself on the back.
But don't hurt yourself doing it.
No, you've earned it.
Yep, exactly. I think I see somebody new. Hello, Cavix. Have you been here before? If so, welcome back. But if not, then just plain welcome.
My name is Baron, the guy drawing, and the guy talking to you is Caredwin.
I'm the one that abuses people with a keyboard.
We'll abuse them some more. Well, I hope you're enjoying this, Steam Power. Hope this is worth your time. Because I am serious. I'm really impressed sometimes the number of people who make Saturday, when I'm streaming, this their Saturday night. I'm very, very honored by that. And initially we thought that, oh well, folks are going to maybe tune in after they're doing our stuff. And then when we did kind of some polling and found a number of people that this was their Saturday night, we felt an obligation to have to up our game and make it a better production. Curve that muzzle a little bit more. She's got kind of a cute little curved muzzle. Big question, how exactly am I going to handle this outfit, and what am I going to add to it to keep this a safe for work drawing? Because Zambala is really not wearing a whole lot.
Well, again, as long as certain things ain't showing, you could always put like a little patina plushie in front of, her.
Oh yeah, Patina would love being put there.
Let's see. What else I got? Yeah, traditional art. Yeah, there's a satellite did kill any need for, well, actually nowadays they're talking about new uses for very high altitude balloons. It's basically as platforms for signals intelligence.
Yeah, well,
usually on your own population, so I'm not so happy about that. Or stations for doing microwave-based internet access.
Yeah, wasn't Google playing around with that a few years ago?
Google, Elon Musk is talking about launching several thousand microsats, which would be interesting because there's a potential for a lot of space junk there, and that could be a problem. But yeah, he's talking about a cloud of microsatellites to deliver, 100 megabit per second to anyone, anywhere in the world.
Well, also too, there was some stuff they were playing around even for locally for using high altitude balloons to bounce.
Old EchoSat,
Yeah, for people's local internet and everything like that.
Yeah. So actually, one of the first satellites was basically a Mylar balloon. which astronomers hated because it would drift right across their thing. It's like, oh damn, what I say? All right, screwed up my my time on the big scope, But hello, I see a mighty muffin.
Hello, Mighty Muffin.
It's a mighty, mighty muffin. He's here with stuff and questions to give for you. Yep.
Yep.
Hello, Mr. Mighty.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you could make it.
Webster, actually, Musk's satellite cloud he was talking about was, I think, at 280-mile slot. A little bit higher than low Earth orbit, a little bit lower than ISS, and Hubble and things like that. Yeah, so he tried to pick an altitude that is currently unoccupied, but still he's talking about literally thousands of these things. That's a lot.
Well, they probably will come down at some point.
Misha, wasn't that the Ohio? Or is it the Akron? I'm sorry.
No, Akron and Macon.
Yeah.
No. The one that did stood in the handstand, that was Los Angeles. Airships are kind of a thing. I've had to do research on them off and on over the decades. And
Besides, they're cool.
yeah, they're cool too. And besides the fact that we live very, very close to Hangar 1 at Moffett Field. So
Those giant, airship hangars, which actually Google paid to get rid of all the lead-bearing old paint.
yeah. Now they're trying to get them reskinned again because they want to make a museum.
Yep.
Which would be kind of cool.
Britain may rule the waves, Sir Ross, but the French airship will rule the skies. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, I got some time still.
Not to worry, Mr. Muffin, not to worry.
Life happens.
Yep.
We understand. We're just glad you can make it. Yep. By the sounds of it, Muffin, you're going to get suddenly some very warm weather in your neck of the woods next week.
Went from cold to warm, yeah.
Yeah, and then it may go back to cold again.
Yep. Actually, there's some folks that are using dirigibles right now to do things like logging. Moving logs from say from the logging site and picking them up and just basically sky craning them over to like a river or something like that. So that way they don't have to tear up the land in between.
Yep, and for a few years they actually flew a real honest-to-goodness dirigible out of Moffett. They did.
Oh yeah, the tours.
The tours. It was kind of it was really quiet. They used to come over our place all the time, and if you weren't really paying attention, you wouldn't and looked up, you wouldn't realize that they were flying over you, unless they like cast a shadow on the ground. You're going, what the hell did that come from? Okay, so we're gonna have that, and that. We're gonna do that.
Who's awing? Everybody's awing. Yeah.
We're gonna have to. Well,
Yep.
That's how we're gonna do this. Yes, I have an idea. I have a cunning plan.
Yeah, a weather watch. Basically, people to catch the thrown ropes in case the thing broke free. Well,
My dad actually, when he was in high school, good
night, sir.
Actually did for one summer he had a job working at the Goodyear blimp field down in Southgate in Southern California, and his job, he was one of the guys who would go out and grab the ropes when the blimp would come in and they'd drag it to a halt. And you say he went through a pair of tennis shoes about every other week.
Yeah.
Especially back then, the soles would just get ground down.
Yep. Let's see. I see Sandman 2006. Hello and welcome. I think you are new here, so I say welcome at you, Origami-san. Have we seen you before? I think we've seen Origami-san.
I think we
before.
have.
But welcome or welcome back as is appropriate to you. Let's see, who else do we have here looking down the list? We have, well, I think that is all of the new people that I say hello to. So here's a question at you all. How many of you guys watch Critical Role? Let's say the online live D&D sessions that they have on Twitch every Thursday on the Geek and Sundry channel. You should go watch with Matt Mercer as the GM and largely responsible for the incredible resurgence in Dungeons and Dragons. Webster, they have it available as in podcast form, so you can just download it and listen to it in the background and all. And again, it's a bunch of voice actors playing D&D, and they get over the top. I'm telling you, that is just so funny. They recently started a new campaign. The previous one ran for like 115 sessions, each of which was about 4 hours. So it was again a lot of stuff there. But they just started, a new campaign, new characters, etc. And they did episode 6 last Thursday. So if you're gonna get into it, it'd be a great time. It's early on. Yeah. So Critical Role is great fun. Great fun. Yeah, particularly in this particular one, the best character. Would you say Jester or not?
Ooh, Jester is pretty good.
Jester the Tiefling, you say, you have one eyeball out, you got the other one left. Don't be such a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's just so funny. And of course, not.
Mm-hmm. Not's pretty good. The kleptomaniac.
Goblin.
Yes.
You could steal it. No, it's great stuff. Now, there's so many, good voice acting jobs. Yeah, and again, great DMing. Yeah. Say, Nazumi, you aren't the only one. Archery was my thing during PE. Well, Mr. Barron here basically hustled other archers, into shooting for 20s.
In college.
During college, and helped pay for his education that way.
Yep.
So yeah, but Baron was a very good archer. Good enough to separate people from their cash.
And I think I still may hold my college record for score for a semester.
Yeah. So
basically a maximum of 60 points for an end, and my average for one semester was 60.
You didn't miss.
I didn't miss the center circle.
Yep.
I didn't miss the center circle.
Yep.
That was at 30 yards.
So yeah.
That's what we did our qualification testing on.
Yep.
Which is pretty close, actually. Get out to 40 or 50. Okay, yeah, we're not shooting 60 every time. Start shooting York rounds where we're shooting at 70 or 80, and then things get a lot more entertaining. Get at 100 yards, and that's when you really start separating the men from the boys. Just use the old cliche as far as being able to hit anything.
Yeah.
They did not show her cutie mark off very well. I had to go find references in the comics to.
Yeah. So archery during PE. Actually, that was offered back when I was in high school, but that was in I'm class of '80, so it's been a few years since then, and like I said, there's just no way. There's no way they would.
I remember when we did javelin and track and field. Not going to do that anymore.
Javelin catching. That's my favorite event.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rainbows, and nobody stopped it because basically what Baron's describing is a perfect score throughout the season.
Yeah. Basically, you can match it, but
you can't beat it.
Well, the only way you can match it, there was one way you could beat it. Technically, that's not true.
Counting X rings.
Oh well, no, shoot more ends. Then your score you actually would have a higher overall score for the semester because your total aggregate points would be greater than what I shot. That's entirely possible.
Okay.
So I mean, it's gonna fall someday. It's like, hey.
Yep.
But yeah, I paid for a fair bit of my schooling through basically back room and warehouses and stuff like that in the evening.
Yep. Yep. Too soon, generic. Too soon. Now.
Yeah, way too soon.
Yeah. But it was of course in my high school, we had the state championship swim team. Mm-hmm. And they pretty much were allowed to get away with anything that didn't escalate to the point of involving cops, So I had no love for the jocks,
Yeah. I was in the fencing club.
Yeah. Well, fencing was something I did back at junior college. Mm-hmm. Now, I graduated high school at 16 because I wanted to get the hell out of there. But I went down to San Joaquin Delta College, also known as University next to Gemco, before Gemco was Target. Yeah. But they had a fencing team, and I had a blast in there.
Now I carried one bear in the stream. Oh, yeah, that's the last of my life. stream. Who is the best MLP secondary character waifu? Oh, Mighty, do you want to start a fight?
Well, fights are always entertaining, and I would say, oh, geez. It depends on who you define as a secondary character, but I can think of, Celestia,
Yeah.
Big Mac, oh, hell.
I really like
Anybody who says Applejack gets kicked in the ass.
Yeah, Octavia is interesting. I will admit, I kind of
Punish, horse, punish. Oh, Pinkie, but you thin ice, man, thin ice.
Maybe it's harsh winning. Okay, there's.
Yeah. Yes, rather.
Well, I've actually learned to like the character a bit more. I have more appreciation. Okay, yeah, I have some idea what you must have to go through. Okay, let's start getting these feathers in.
Well, I've always had an admiring for the character of Celestia. I mean,
Yep.
And basically, she's like Equestria's mom.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's full of crap, but you should listen to her anyway.
You really shouldn't argue with her.
Well, Sunset is,
I don't consider her secondary anymore.
not in Equestria Girls.
Yeah.
Well, she's actually kind of the lead in one of the movies, maybe even 2.
Yeah, and I don't consider Starlight secondary.
Yeah.
She's got too much of an important role now. I mean, I find Maud very, very amusing, but I don't consider her a waifu.
Yeah. Well, Mighty, mostly because there's not enough character there yet. I mean, they took some good first steps in episode 100, but they'd have to go further.
Yeah.
There's just not enough there.
I mean, she's a nice character in my Equestria Dreamscape. She's, hardworking. She's pleasant. She's not stupid. She's simple, and she just has really, really bad luck. But
Yeah, and that whole thing. It's like we actually saw in flashback. Where the Apple Lies, I think it was, or something like that. Basically, we saw teenage, Big Mac, back when he wouldn't shut up, and you can't plow a field with ideas. All right, but we saw Derpy with her eyes covered with a bandage. So, okay.
Trixie is a mess. I have to agree with DWK on the whole thing. Look, she tried to kill herself the first time you met her. If you didn't see this coming already, I have no sympathy for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, ouch, DWK, but
you're right.
You're right.
Yeah. No, a waifu is akin to a muse. No, waifu. No, that's your waifu is your dream girl. It's a term taken from the anime fans, the weeaboos. The ones who go way overboard. Not that any other fandom would do that.
No.
But yeah, no. Your waifu is your dream girl. Usually with the characteristics of polite, give everything for her guy. A little bit on the submissive side. So. A little bit thin on characterization, but again, that's your non-threatening dream date.
But then your muse can be someone like, say, Patina. Yes.
That's one for yeah. I'm starting to really smell that. Say that.
And guys, just in light of what happened this week and everything, if we can kind of keep the kind of thing about firearms in schools, it's a hot button topic right now.
So let's not go there. Let's not push those buttons. Thank you.
For folks who watch the stream know where Cared One and I lay on that, but we make it a thing about this not being a political stream. If you want that kind of stuff, you can find it lots of other places. This is a kind of a get away from it all for a while.
Yep, not to worry. Not to worry, folks. Let's see what else we got here. We got any? I thought I saw somebody. Maybe it was a drive-by.
We get those every once in a while.
Ask Button Mash. Have you been in here before? I think you've been in here before.
But
Yeah, but if you have not, then welcome.
yeah,
Let's see,
I vote for Derpy just to get. And you know, she's such a likable, lovable character, and no matter how much the world gives her, you know, basically grief, she doesn't let it basically wear her down, and she picks herself up and she carries on, and those are admirable traits.
Chitaru would be the wife. That is so funny because the current job that I'm at.
Oh, right.
Yes, when I came in there, I came in as basically QA director, and I was reporting to the senior VP of product, and he is a Thundercats fan, and and he thought that Chitara was the cat's meow. So every time he would walk away from his desk, if he would leave his laptop, with the screensaver, unlocked, I would change his desktop, to like a Chitara picture or something like that. Because we're a security company, it's like I get to pounce all over that. And I bought a bobblehead Chitara, and I was going to epoxy it to his desk, but I decided that no, I like my boss, and I would like to keep working here. Disaster narrowly averted. But it's just I always give him crap. I mean, he would tease me about Pony. I tease him about about Chitara. And eventually he ended up having an opinion on who was the best pony, and he was right.
He was for Celestia?
No, he was
Applejack.
Applejack.
I got you. Celestia's best princess. Applejack's best pony.
Yep.
I
go back and forth.
Yeah. And of course, like I say, muses are different. Patina's definitely not, your submissive, fawning.
But she's many things, but waifu's not on list. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a lot of things, but she's she's not.
Yeah. I might agree with you. The question is weakest episode of season 7. Of course, I'd have to see a list, but Fluttershy Leans In, I was not a fan of. Yeah. I'm very, very sorry, GM Barrow. Very sorry, but not the strongest episode.
Yeah.
But it had its moments, but
I'm going to have to say a perfect pair, probably.
Oh, we're actually least favorite.
Least favorite. Okay.
Yeah, the most suckful.
The most suckful.
That would not be the perfect.
No,
pair.
no, God, no.
That's rival for best of the entire series. Let's see.
Yeah, it's true, and that's true. It's like Derpy basically saves Twilight in the movie. She takes one for the team.
Yep. Okay, here's our list. Boom. Okay. Episodes. Click.
Boop. Did you go to the wiki?
Well, I went to there's Wikipedia, which has the big ones as opposed to a simple list. So I also body up a flurry of emotions, rock solid friendship, Fluttershy Leans In, Forever Philly. Not one of my favorites either. Parental Guidance, hard to say anything. Honest Apple, A Royal Problem, not asking for trouble.
I liked Royal Problem, so that would not
that
be
was
one.
Good. Yeah, Discordant Harmony, that was pretty good. Perfect Pair, Fame and Misfortune, which I was not happy with either. Triple Threat, Campfire Tales, To Change Changeling, Daring Done, Isn't That the Main Thing About You? A Health of Information, Marks and Recreation, not a favorite either. Once Upon a Zeppelin, Secrets and Pies, Uncommon Bond, Shadow Play Parts 1 and 2. If I had to pick one, probably Marks and Recreation, just because it was covering territory that they'd covered before. That was the I don't want a cutie mark episode, and it's like, didn't we cover this back with Starlight a while ago? Yeah, but yeah.
The only thing I did like about Marks and Recreation, it wasn't so much about that, but the fact we got to get a little bit more background on Thunder Lane.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, one of the things I don't like is that they're making everybody a Wonderbolt now. It's like, I thought this was supposed to be the super elite, You
Yeah,
know,
well, it's the same thing with, it's everybody's an alicorn now.
yeah.
Twilight getting promoted, that's great. Everybody else, nuh-uh. Season 7, though, overall, it was pretty strong. And
Yep.
again, it had,
Tampa-
it had a perfect pair, which for me, I go back and forth between that and Mending Fences as the very best episodes.
Yeah, I actually kind of like Campfire Tales because if nothing else, it did a good job of setting it harkened back to season 3 and Sleepless in Ponyville, and it set up basically the groundwork for the finale.
Yeah,
So I actually kind of liked Campfire Tales.
it was okay.
I mean, it wasn't their best, but it was, I like the fact that continuity is a thing that now happens in the series.
Yeah. Or to quote, MLP Silver Quill, continuity. Yeah. Now, the health of information. I wasn't happy with with some of the things that that made it look like the ponies were about or not about. More or less abandoning Fluttershy, but it was interesting world building. So I can't fault it for that.
Yeah.
And it had Zecora in it. Any episode with Zecora in it's good for me.
And what's funny is, once again, that was another episode that, even though, I didn't like it very much either, but once again, it set the framework because it had the mask that, what came up being a thing at the end of... There was actually quite a few episodes in season 7 all linked towards the finale. Because it was that mask that they were using to get the honey from the lightning bees.
Yeah. Well, again, they were doing the same thing they did with the keys from season 4, was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Season 4 with Tyrek.
Yeah, and in that it wasn't it was foreshadowing, but it wasn't foreshadowing that had been called out in advance.
No.
Yeah. But
Especially in season 4, they knew, or they knew they needed the keys.
indeed.
In this case, they didn't realize they were going to need them. Oh, wait, hang on here. We have to try to bring these people back from beyond the void.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, we're getting near the end of time there,
Yes.
so I'm going to very quickly do our duty.
Yes. One last time.
Yeah, say as Baron finishes cleaning up, we will do our final duty of the evening. And our final duty is to say thank you to University Art for sponsoring Baron. University Art is an art supply store, high-end stuff, high-end employees, high-end framing. It's a great place to go if you're looking for the good stuff. Their staff are all artists themselves, very knowledgeable, but not on commission, so they will sell you the right thing, not the expensive thing. Also, a great source of advice. They have seminars, they have demonstrations, they have workshops, they have craft fairs, they have all of these good things. It's not just an art store, it's a community. Mm-hmm. They also occasionally will loan us one of their employees to be a guest artist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, Jeff. Jeff Braunschreiber, an expert in Egyptian tomb painting with authentic materials and authentic techniques. He says he's not an expert. The hell he ain't. Jaya King, who has actually now gone independent, who we will see in 2 weeks.
Yep.
As a guest artist here, who works in encaustics, which is basically flamethrowers and beeswax. So we get to show up next week, watch her burn down my house and set Baron on fire. 2 weeks. Next show.
Next show.
Bleh. So.
And if you folks follow me on Twitter or on DeviantArt or on Facebook, I'll be making announcements, giving people heads up. Okay.
Yep. Pinkie, that's going a little far. All right, so let's get back over to here. We say thank you to University Art, and we go back to Baring.
All right.
Iron Will's best waifu.
That was interesting.
If you're looking for best guy of your life, you take Iron Will as your waifu.
I have to admit, I was amused that they brought him back.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we 828? Why don't we switch cameras here now?
Yeah, I'll just go push a button right there.
Push a button. This one's great. I can sit here and draw, and Carradman here can help manage the technology, so we can just keep this thing rolling along.
Bam.
I push buttons. The buttons look like this.
And this is a really cool thing if you're streaming. And
Stream
behold the
Deck, get you
cameras.
one. Stream Deck, get you one. Yeah, hey.
It's actually very well made too.
Yeah, it's a hot solid hunk of aluminum.
Yep. So I want to thank everyone who tuned in tonight. I want to thank especially all the new people.
Lots of them.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed your evening. I hope that you guys might want to come back in 2 more weeks and watch it all again. And we'll get the food in just a moment there, Mighty. And, for all my patrons on Patreon, thank you very much. Bettina's best waifu.
She will play at being West Wife.
Then
it will be your turn.
She's best something.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe for some folks next stream when we show up, I will go into a little more detail about what exactly Bettina is. Sylvan, you have a safe trip. Hope your plane flight goes well and everything. See you when you come back from your vacation. Have fun. And like I said, to all my patrons on Patreon, thank you very much. If you're new here tonight and you've really enjoyed this is what I do for a living. So if you thought this was great tonight, maybe consider doing $1 a month. $1 makes a difference.
Right there, you see where the
where
the things are.
he's pointing at me. Yeah.
There you go. Where's his Baron?
Yeah.
Engel, right there.
And basically, people say, can really $1 make a difference? If everybody on DeviantArt gave me $1 a month, life would be quite amazing. So
it's actually 7 colorful shirts just made from scraps.
Yep. So thank you very much for tuning in.
Yep.
If you couldn't, hey, doing $1 a month, I can't make that kind of commitment.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Just spread the word.
Spread the word. Let folks know. Or if you maybe can throw like $1 or so, consider the tip jar down there.
All right.
Okay.
And so we are off to our dinner, which is
Jamaican jerk chicken.
what he said. So catch you folks in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Jaya King, Washer Set Baron on Fire.
Yep.
It's great fun when that
We're
happens.
going to be in a whole different setting. We're going to be in downstairs studio. It's going to be great.
So down in the man cave.
Mm-hmm.
See you folks later.
Yes. Bye. Good night.